Give me a little bit of tequila and life is great.
Tequila is the most healthiest alcoholic drink because it
I was
comes from
telling
a
him
plant and not rice.
Agave.
I was telling them today at work about what we got when we were golfing in Michigan. The tropical Red Bulls and tequilas.
Oh, yeah. Look out.
It's
Night-night.
good though.
Dude. Golf courses and alcohol. Perfect.
Yep.
You start playing 18 holes, you wind up playing 48. and you're
Yeah.
like,
Where did we go?
Okay. 4 of us will have to head out and play.
Oh my God. Yeah.
oh, I'll play.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Oh,
seriously.
yeah, we definitely play.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we'll go out and play.
We
You're
laugh
best.
because I picked up golf because of him. I've now picked up archery because of him, but I get really, really frustrated golfing because I've always been just naturally good at sports and just golf doesn't come naturally to me. But I don't get frustrated shooting my bow. I'm learning and I'm like mind wide open to it. But with golfing, I get pissed. And we went out last weekend.
Last Saturday we
Last
played. Yeah,
Saturday.
Norvell.
And I was trying to be like, you know what? Like, golf is my secondary hobby now. I don't care if I suck. It doesn't matter. And I just was playing shitty on this one hole. And he saw me take the club around like this. And he goes, don't you slam it.
Don't do it.
No.
Do it.
And I just put it back down. He was like, we're not slamming clubs today.
You can have a fun little game that whenever you get mad, either A, you have to throw everything left-handed, or you can take a shot. Now, by shot number 8, you no longer care about golf. You are just there for the ride.
Well,
Yeah.
the best golf I've ever played, I was beyond hungover. I'm pretty sure I was still drunk. And I could give a shit less, and I was playing the best golf of my life. But
If you're not thinking about it, your body will know how. It's no different than skipping a rock across the thing. It's the same body motion. You just put a club in your hand and loosey-goosey, and the ball
Yeah.
goes 200 and something yards down there.
last
If you
year,
get a good hit on it.
If
Yeah.
is the key word there.
mine goes that way.
Yeah,
I said,
Last
fuck
year
it. They
our-
don't pay me to play. I'm going to have fun.
that's it.
Well, I tried to have that mindset because last year, one of the last times we went out golfing, we were on the last hole and I just could not get it together. And it was a par 5. And I'm standing in the middle of the green, like, I don't know why I fucking do this. And he's like, you're done. Like, it's just stop.
Get in the
Game
cart.
over.
Get in the cart. We're going to drink.
So
All right.
I enjoy shooting my bow a lot more. I don't get pissed. So
Hello, everyone, and welcome to, boy, I don't even know what number this one is.
We don't know. Just
Nick
roll with it.
Nick Munt screwed me up whenever he said episode 1 on his, so I'm all screwed up now.
Yeah, that's all right.
I am one of your hosts here for the Broken Knock podcast, Chris DePerna, alongside. What's so funny about it? It is my name. Like,
it's like
I mean,
you had to
just-
think about it for a second.
No, I mean, it's my name. Just sharing it with you. My lovely daughter, Megan DePerna, is here with me. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Had a good day. It's almost the weekend.
It is.
Back in our studio. We haven't been in these seats in a while.
been a
so
while.
It's been
Yeah.
cool. Happy to get back.
Yep.
The other voice there you hear, Mr. Ken Reese. How are you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Awesome, man.
Hello,
Awesome.
everyone.
Yeah, good to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're excited to be back. It was a little bit of a journey, for us, being up at TAC and being at PA Turkey Camp.
We had a
you know.
busy couple of weeks.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, really
Very.
was, and got some good podcasts in, some good guests on, and
Still
Yeah,
have
it
a
was
couple
fun.
more to get.
yeah,
Still have a couple more working on.
yeah. So those will be airing here soon.
Yep.
Got things going with the Outdoor Call Radio now with Dan Young, so we got us aired
I
on there.
screenshotted it yesterday when it was playing in the evening because I was like, oh wow. Oh,
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah,
on
I thought it was cool because I knew you guys said he was going to put us on there, and I was on my way to work. I don't know, what was it, Ken? Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday
Yeah.
morning. It was
Yes.
like 6 o'clock Wednesday morning, and I just happened to. I don't even know how the hell I did it. I just accidentally pushed the app. Sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to listen to you at 6 a.m., but I did. And shit, it was us. It was when we were talking to Rob from
I
TAC,
pulled it
so
up on my
that was
way
cool.
home at 5 p.m. and I was like, oh, there we are.
Yeah, so it's cool. I mean, we appreciate that. So I guess with that, we'll get into our sponsors. Might as well, Outdoor Call Radio, Dan Young. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate all your support and putting us out there on your network and talking shit about me every Saturday morning on your Iowa radio show. That's always awesome to have you reach out to me
Closed
at
Eyes
7, 8 a.m.
Outfitters is booking hunts for
You
2025.
guys,
So
I'll tell you what.
get a hold of Dan Young and he can get you on the schedule.
I told you. Yeah. I had a few guys. If you guys are out there, the ones that reached out to me and asked me about the turkey hunts, I'm still not booking them. You got to reach out to Dan. He'll do that for you.
He does all your books.
He does all
I've
my
already
booking.
made a logo, so if anybody's interested in a Closed Eyes Outfitters
You guys are
T-shirt,
just
I've already
running
made a
with
logo.
Yeah, I'm the brunt of this joke. That's all right.
That's correct.
I can take it. Thick skin.
Yep.
Learned that a long time ago. Thick skin. But so thank you, Dan, the Outdoor Call Radio. If you guys have not downloaded the Outdoor Call Radio app, get out there and do that. It's an awesome app. A lot of good podcasts on there. Quite a few of them that we listen to ourselves, including the Keystone Experience and Working Class Bow Hunter. Some good podcasts. So
Absolutely.
get on there and check those guys out.
Yep.
Moving on, we want to thank our one of our title sponsors that's been with us since before day one, Toyota of Greensburg. Brian Moore, Ryan Halderman, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everything that Toyota of Greensburg does for us that has helped us get to this point. And it's been cool. And loving our Toyotas, huh?
Mhm.
Ken, how's yours treating you?
Good. Got some orange effects on it now.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's real nice.
Custom.
Vinyled it up a little bit.
I'm thinking about what my next one will be here. So,
So you're ready to get rid of the Tacoma, huh?
well, it's time almost.
Yeah, I guess it
So,
is.
I think I'm going to go to the 4Runner.
Are you really? The
think
new
I am.
4Runner. Are you thinking TRD Pro mud color?
I mean, if they'll have me.
Well, maybe we'll accept you in the TRD Pro group. I mean, you're blood, so I'm thinking
Yeah.
we can work
But
something
he
out.
has I got the Tacoma before I met him, and I needed a truck. And then I met him, and he has a truck, so there's no reason for
So
both
now
of us
she's
to
gonna
have
put
a
all her
truck.
shit in your truck.
That's all right.
I don't have anything to.
Tell you what, I
I
got-
haven't even used the bed of my truck really since
Yeah.
I've gotten it. It was just for funsies, I guess. But
Yeah, because it looks cool.
My deck system came, so we're going to get that installed and get a little video out for that too. So,
You
Yeah.
always need a truck. What are you talking about?
yeah.
well, he has the truck now,
No,
so
you need a truck. What if he's gone?
then I'll have a 4Runner and I'll just stuff it all in the back. I don't have kids, so I can just put down the second row, and then we have basically an indoor truck.
Covered. I got it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Elevated tonneau
yeah,
cover.
we'll
Yep.
let you go on that.
Exactly.
So thank you, Brian and Ryan, Toyota Greensburg. If you guys are in the area and you can get there, you got to stop in and check out what
Yep.
they got going on. And also, I found out recently too, talking with Ryan, I had Jordan Kofta from the outdoor group and Elite Archery reached
Yeah.
out to me, and he was questioning would they sell to somebody. I think Jordan had a relative in Florida that was looking for a Toyota, so they might be reaching out to Toyota Greensburg. But Ryan did tell me, he's like, yeah, we can work it out. If
Absolutely.
they're in Florida and they want to buy up here in Pennsylvania, yeah, we can get it to them.
Yeah.
No problem. So
Absolutely.
so if you're listening or watching and you're interested in a Toyota but don't really care for your local dealership, these guys up here will take care of you. I can promise you that. They're awesome dudes,
Yes, they
and
will.
they're really all about, just helping everyone out. So yeah, check them out, and then let's move on to our next sponsor. What in the hell is
Why
so
are you looking
funny?
at me?
Because you're on the show. Why wouldn't I look at you?
Jeez.
If he doesn't look at you, he has to look at me, and then if we make eye contact, it gets
It gets
could-
really
it could get
weird.
weird.
We're
Could
We're
get
gonna be
weird.
at a hunting camp
Yeah.
at some point together. It's just Harry Manilow's gonna be in the background. It's not gonna be good for anybody. Okay.
He's trying not to look you in the eyes. That's
Oh,
why he
man.
keeps looking at me.
Yeah, I'll look the other way. So with that said, let's talk about the Outdoor Group. Another big sponsor of ours. The Outdoor Group consists of Elite Archery. We got Scott Archery. We have Slick Trick Broadheads. We also have Ultra Arrows. And we have custom bow equipment. So good sights. Not good, great sights.
Yeah.
Great bows. Great arrows. I mean, those Ultras, like darts. I'm shooting 166s right now out of my Era, and they are just just flat out shooting great. Went with the 2-pin CBE sight. I got the 2 up on the Pro model with the
Likewise.
carbon bar. That's
Likewise.
Yeah, that's an awesome sight. So
Yep.
running that now. How's the Allure treating you, Meg?
I love it. I
It's a-
finally had a 3D shoot that tested me a little bit more, but
Yeah,
I love that bow.
it is an awesome bow.
It's
Yeah.
an amazing bow, and I've got a new sight coming, so I'm not going to be gap shooting above 40 anymore.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, I talked to Jordan today, and he said some stuff's on the way for us guys. So, looking forward to getting our hands on the new product and getting it onto the bows and getting out there this year and killing some shit. 'Cause I
Absolutely.
think that's what's going to happen.
And then
You know.
there that new bow that they came out with, the Flex, is that?
Yeah, I got two of them downstairs. The new recurve. I'm glad you brought that
Awesome.
up. Yeah, the new Elite used to make recurves back in the day. It was called the Origin, and I was kind of into wanting to get one of those since I've been shooting the recurve and planning to hunt with it here in PA. And I reached out to Jordan, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't have any, but hold on, man." He said, "Because we got something coming." And then as I got closer, he was like, "Here's what we're doing," and I was like, "Holy shit, this is cool!" So. Yeah, so now we got them here. They're
The camo
downstairs.
one
The
you have
Flex.
downstairs is badass.
That's I
Mhm.
I already asked Mom if I can keep it. I'm like, can I keep it like a puppy?
She knows that
please?
even if she told you no, you're going to do whatever you want anyway.
Oh,
so.
it's so awesome. Yeah, I'm looking for. I mean, that camo's pretty cool. I don't know. I might have to talk to them and see if I can't do something here in the future with some Numa camo. Get a little
Mhm.
bit
Get
of
a dip.
Kaza
I was going to say the
OV.
Get a dip.
Kaza OV would be
Yeah.
awesome.
I think I might be able to get them to swing at for me.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to shooting this bow because not only does it come with one string, but it comes with two, and they are different lengths, and there's a reason for that. Because this bow, unlike any other recurve on the market, has limb pockets that you can move. It's an ILF bow, and you can move those pockets into a different slot. And by doing so, you can change the length of the bow. And also you have adjustment on those risers that when you snap the ILF limbs in it, even if they're 40-pound limbs, you can change the poundage just by making some adjustments similar to what you would with a compound. So it's pretty sweet. I mean, the shelf on there, the arrow shelf is adjustable. If you need to make adjustments for the arrow left or right, which, if you're shooting off the shelf for, those trad guys out there listening that know what shooting off the shelf means, if you've got that arrow resting right on the shelf itself, with most of, with every recurve and longbow out there that I'm aware of, you lay that arrow on there, you got to tune that arrow. You don't have any left or right adjustment to play with other than, you put your bear, your bear hide on or whatever you're going to put on that shelf to shoot off of, and it pretty much is what it is. But now with theirs, it's an adjustable sliding shelf. So you can move that left and right. You can get some adjustment out of that. I mean, Elite really thought this out.
Yeah.
It's
That's
pretty
cool.
sweet. So excited about that. So if anybody out there's listening, if you want to check out the new Elite Flex, we do have a few here in stock. They are for sale unless I can convince my wife to let me keep one of them.
We know
but
with you,
they are for sale.
everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale. If it's not bolted down, I will sell it.
Just take one. You'll be fine. It's not an issue. Ask for forgiveness.
That's it, man.
That's
That's,
it.
that's
That's
been my
how he
life
lives.
story, man. I live that way. Ask
Yeah.
for forgiveness comes
Super
later.
easy. Super easy.
She found out tonight about shit I bought that, of course, Walt being back, he's like, hey, this empty box of these Leupold sunglasses. Like, dude, it's outside in the trash for a reason.
You
Walt was just
snitch.
trying to get you. Yeah, Walt was just getting you.
Excuse me. But, so anyhow, it was, he was trying to get me in some trouble there. But, hey,
deserve
I
it.
think she's going to let me keep one of them. But, so thank you guys, the outdoor group, Larry, Paul, Ryan, Jordan, thank you guys for working with us. Everybody else at Elite, Anthony, the owner, awesome dude.
Yep.
So if anybody's out there looking for any of those products, we do have them here at Creek Archery. So leading into that, Creek Archery. Is that
Is a
funny?
sponsor.
We are a sponsor. Yes, we are. I'm glad you recognize that. Creek Archery is a sponsor of the podcast. We would like to thank our viewers and listeners, friends, family, everybody that comes out and supports us. It's been good, man. It's been crazy busy here in June.
Yeah, it is weird how busy.
Usually June's kind of like that. Everybody's on vacation, beaches, wherever they're at. And then 4th of July rolls around, and then after that, it's like, boom. Like the floodgates open, and everybody's thinking, get the trail cameras out, the deer are grown, time to roll. But that's happening earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I think part of that is the growth of TAC.
Yeah,
and I think that's why.
I think you're right because we're seeing a lot of new faces too,
Yeah.
and a lot of them
Right.
we did see at TAC. So
Yes.
it's been pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep. I would associate it. To
Yeah,
that.
so that's been good. So, but if you're in the area, Creek Archery, we do sell all the top brands of bows, crossbows, traditional equipment. Also, Ubco e-bikes, which are badass. If you have not
Yes,
seen
they
one of those,
are.
and our guest knows that, we're going to talk about them a little
Uh-huh.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
But they are pretty sweet. So if you're out there looking for an e-bike for hunting, and you want something that can carry you along with about 150 pounds of corn to throw down for the deer, and probably
Legally.
yes, legally in those states, that you're allowed to use it, and your harvest, or if you're out west, man, and you need to pack out an elk or anything. I mean, these things are just tough. I mean, you can look at them and tell they're built well. So the Ubco e-bikes, we have them down here at Creek Archery as well. We do have a lot of our own gear, hats, coffee mugs, all that type of stuff, which is on our website for sale.
Yep.
We just got in our new Creek Archery arrows. Did you see what the logo's on? Our
Yep.
logo and all that turned out pretty cool. We got them smoking deal on them down there. They're made by Mamba Archery for us. So $60 a dozen. You can't beat that.
Those are your tack arrows.
Yeah. We sold a bunch of those arrows at TAC, and guys were coming back, really liked them. So we're like, hey, why not get some with our logos on them?
Our
That's what we
3D
did.
shoot that we were at last week, and I could have used a $60 dozen of arrows because I was losing them, man. So
Yeah, that's the thing. For events like that, it doesn't pay to get out there with these expensive arrows. I mean, guys do it. If you've seen that the tack, yeah, you're one of them.
Yeah. I went through 24. It's not good.
Dude, if you've seen the little tack truck sitting there with all the arrows in it. So we were
Thousands.
looking at that. There was what we figured to be close to about $200,000 worth of busted arrows in that barrel. And that's at one event.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
and
I've
everybody
never
was
seen
enjoying just.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've never seen an event where people are glad to break shit.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, yes, let's do this. But it's so awesome. So many people.
Well, at TAC, a guy bought a dozen of the Mamba arrows, and we were like asking him like specs and stuff for cutting, and he was like, "Honestly, I'm gonna go shoot all 12 of those at a metal target, so it doesn't matter anyways."
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, it was cool. It was a good event. We're going to get into that in the podcast, talk about that, because that was fun. I mean, wore us out, but it was great. So many good people there, including hooking up with our guest again up there. So it was cool.
You've also got one of our other sponsors downstairs, Numa Gear.
Yeah, Numa Gear. That's one we're excited about. I mean, we're excited about all of our sponsors,
Yeah.
but hell, I'm loaded up in Numa
I'm
again. We got the
full Numa.
new pants on that they come out with.
The Prevail pants are amazing. By the time this comes out, I'm sure my unboxing video will be
Yes.
out. But
Yep.
Nice.
I don't think I've
Awesome.
ever seen either one of you outside of that gear.
Yeah, it's
Every
since
day
we
at
got
the
it.
back,
We've got
every
something
day
on.
that I've been here,
Yep.
Yeah.
and then today.
Mhm.
I used to use another high-end brand, which I loved it. Won't knock it. It was good stuff. But we talked about this with Mike Moran when he was on here, the rep for Numa. Ken and I was looking for something new, and we got into their product line. And I tell you what, it's just so damn comfortable. Like,
just their pants alone.
yeah.
Nobody compares to their pants.
No, like these pants we have here. I love that the new pant style has the zipper right there on the front on the top. So sitting there, if you're in your tree stand, perfect place for your phone, right on the top, not the side. As stupid as that sounds, on the side, I mean, if you're looking out in front of you, there's a greater chance you dropping your phone out of
Well,
the tree
even-
stand from the side than on the top.
we were
Yeah.
practicing in our saddles over the weekend, and I had on just a pair of leggings, which had a pocket on the side. My phone was in it. And every time I try to like dig my
I didn't even
phone
think of that.
out,
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the
I was
saddle.
getting so
Yep.
annoyed that I couldn't get my phone out of my pocket.
Right.
And thinking about it, this pocket would not be in the way of it.
Not
so
with the saddle. No, you're right.
they
That's
put a lot
perfect.
of thought into their products, which I appreciate.
I do too. And then also the venting that they do. So the vents on these pants here, you've got, I don't know, obviously the video camera there, but you've got your open side vents here, which is cool. So if you do need to vent out on there, the rain jackets having the pit zips, they're doing a lot of things that I think everybody should do. And those guys, being a small group, I think there's only 9 of them, super nice people. You reach out to them, any one of them is going to get a hold of you. They're thinking and they're doing things right. So yeah, so we're excited about Numa. I'm excited about the new
All
the new
white tail
camo.
gear.
the
So
new pattern is
yeah,
amazing.
so if you guys are in the area of Creek Archery and you can make it down here, you got to stop down and see it because we have all their new stuff that's currently out, their new pattern. We have it here in the shop.
Yes.
We've got their new pants here. We've got a lot of their casual stuff in stock. Their pullover hoodies and a lot of their gear is here in our shop. So you got to check it out. And there's good pricing on it. Actually, great pricing on
Yeah.
it. It's just you have to. It's one of those things like, there's so many different brands out there, but this is one you have to see for yourself. You've got to get it in your hands. Try it on, see how it fits, and you'll be blown away. And any of the guys we talked to a lot of guys at TAC that came in that actually thought we were Numa.
They did.
They, were
Just
convinced
because
they
we
were
had
Numa.
it there,
Yeah.
like, oh, Numa's here, cool.
Yeah.
They had it on, they used it. There were so many guys that were like, wow, this stuff is great. The guys we met from
Yeah.
Canada that stopped in, they said
Yep.
the only thing is like Numa needs to figure out to get that shit into Canada for them,
Yeah.
which I do know they're working on. I talked to Mike about that, so that's something that's on their list for this year. But so if you can get down to Creek Archery, check out the Numa gear. We have it. If you can't, being that we are partnered with Numa, if you want to, you can go on to their website, put in Broken Knock 20, and you will get yourself 20% off on any purchase from Numa going right to their website directly. So, some great deals there
Yeah.
to be had, whether you come into the shop or if you go online, So I definitely say stop in if you can see it firsthand, but if you can't, get online, and you will not be disappointed buying some of their
Absolutely.
stuff. So, also want to thank Mr. Todd Rupert of Rupert's Roost in Peace Turkey Calls, made right here in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. We have those in Creek Archery as well. Awesome calls. It was funny. We had those. So,
We had 'em at TAC.
not thinking at TAC.
Were you
we're
around the
like,
tent whenever we were running those turkey calls at TAC?
I don't think so.
You don't remember?
Oh, dude, it was funny. Like, anybody that was a turkey hunter, if they were a longbeard, we would have shot them right in the face. Like, we called. Ken was like,
I came
don't
off
know
the
how
mountain.
the hell did it happen?
I came off the mountain, and I think I was looking for a hydrate pack
He
or,
was
or
digging
a,
through our
a snack.
Okay.
And he was like,
It was the same
went in
pack
one of
we
the
had for turkey hunting.
pockets, and he was like, he was like, I brought the call with me, and he was like, I'll just play with it while we're here or something, or
Yeah.
I'll put it out on the table. And I was like, why?
I was like,
Yeah, so and the reason
And then
Megan's
he
saying
did.
why to that is because, as Creek Archery, we were a vendor up there. Now think about it. Pennsylvania turkey season's over. So we're a vendor thinking we're going to sell arrows because people are going to break arrows. So that's what we had. We had arrows. We had sights. We had the Numa clip. We didn't have the turkey calls because turkey season was over. Todd wasn't a vendor there because he's like, is that really the place for me? But going in,
Guess
to
what?
finish your story there.
I hit the call. I said, no, I'm going to run this call and see what happens. And I was hitting the call a few times, and a couple guys turned around. The other guys are peeking around the corner of the tent, like, who's got the turkey
He
call?
called in.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
guys from
yeah.
the Origin tent came running over.
Yeah.
The guys from the Bearded Butcher tent were over there
Yeah.
running it. The guys over at like Timber Ninja came. Like they were like
Spartan Forge guys came down.
called men
Dude,
in with a turkey.
I was
call.
standing at the booth, and like off in the distance, you just hear.
And
What
it's someone
the-
walking up making a
Yeah, it's
making a
just
gobble
somebody just
noise with their
gobbling,
mouth.
you know.
Always bring all the product. You
Dude, yeah,
never
so-
know.
Yeah, I mean,
Never
seriously.
know.
So the next, I went back to the shop that night. I brought some back up there, and those guys were over there. They were all about them. Well, I think we did sell one or two up there, but a lot of them guys that came in were like, "Hey, I got to reach out to them."
And a lot of them did.
A lot of them did.
The one guy, I can't remember his last name, but I saw him post on Instagram. He bought
Yeah,
a
he
couple
did.
calls,
Yeah.
and he was going to do a review on them. But people were very impressed with him. The biggest reason why I said why he was going to put it on the table is I was like, somebody's going to steal our call. Don't put that up on the
Gotta keep it.
table.
Yeah.
Gotta keep it in the
Yeah.
tent as
Yeah.
far as it can
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. And what was awesome was, while some of those guys were using the call, I reached out to Todd. I called him. I'm like, "Hey, man, does this sound familiar?" And the guy's sitting there and he's calling. He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Dude, these guys love your calls."
The
Like,
one
this
guy's-
guy I was talking to, like, he's like, "I seriously think this is the best call I've ever
Yeah.
ran."
Uh-huh. The other, and then one of the other guys, he's like, I've never been able to run a slate call, and I could run his slate
Well, the
call.
box
Yeah.
call, the
It
one guy was
sounds
like,
great.
I'm horrible at box calls. And he was running it. And the guy from his tent came over and was like, what call were you just using? He thought he was running like a pot call. And it was actually one of the box
Yeah.
calls that he was running.
They sound so great, And I told Todd, I said, "Hey, man, you ought to think about TAC next year." I said,
Yeah.
"Having a booth, I really do." I said, "I think you'll do good up there."
Yep.
And he's like, yeah. He said, I'm going to talk to Rob. So I think we might have him up there, you know.
You just become part of. We're just gonna build a block
Yeah.
of tents that are all.
Block party.
That's the way
Yes.
to do it.
Yeah,
Block
we're
party.
going to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll make our guest here today the mayor of Tent City up there.
I'll play
You
with
were
it.
already
I don't
running
care.
for mayor. That would be a race because
No,
you were
I think he beat me on that one.
I'll bring
Kissing
beer and
hands.
brats.
There
That's
you
what
go.
I'll do.
Beer and
Yeah.
brats.
Beer and brats. Just
Speaking,
vote me
I'm
in.
glad he said that because Mom and I talked about this. We are taking a grill next year.
Well, I had said because being by the Bearded Butchers and them giving out food was phenomenal. We had the best setup, but they weren't feeding us the whole time, and we would have been in a much better situation if we could have fed ourselves up there. So.
Yeah, that was awesome. So
Bring
yeah, I
it-
think we're going to do that next year. But,
Either a griddle or a grill.
yeah,
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, our griddle we folded it up and took it to Michigan with us. So we
Yeah,
could
we have
definitely
those.
take
yeah,
it
we're
up to
definitely going to do
Seven
something.
Springs.
Legs.
But
just pulled
We'll
out.
get
got
we'll get with
36,
Mr.
Blackstone.
Chalinsky and
Yep,
expand
that's what we
off
have.
of our
Spring
spot
all
that
of
we have.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have that whole middle section next year. You know,
Maybe.
might need a little bit more room, but yeah. So Todd's going to be there. So Todd with Rupert's Roost and Peace turkey calls, we have those at Creek Archery. If you're interested, stop down, check them out. Also, you can go to Todd's website. You can purchase there.
Mhm.
And if you want to reach out to the guy himself, he'll talk to you all day long about turkey calls. So awesome calls. Yeah, you'll want to check those out. Let's see. We got fall coming up here soon. Actually, getting into July, which is the perfect time to be doing scrapes and rubs. Mock rubs, mock scrapes, and that out. Getting the cameras out. Apparition Scents. Apparition Scents it's the only scent that I sell at Creek Archery, and I'm not saying that there aren't other scents out there that are good, because there are. There's a lot of scents on the market that are good, but for us, we know 110% that this stuff works. The products that Dave puts out, Dave Beer, everybody calls him Deer Pete Dave.
It's a hell of a
But,
name to have.
Wow.
Yeah, Dave makes some awesome products, and we've killed some giants over his products. We've gotten results. I can't tell you how many pallets upon pallets upon pallets of his Undertaker and Nightmare, which is what is used to make your scrapes and your mock setups. You put that out and put a trail camera on it, and I'm telling you, if there are deer in your area, they're coming. They're coming. And I'm not going to promise you they're all coming at the middle of the day. But if you've got a buck that you just want to know, is he there? Yeah, he's there. If he sees that scrape, I mean, we've proven it time and time again. I've sold this. I have a customer base that comes in every year religiously to buy that stuff, because I've had guys come in and buy it, take it, make a mock scrape, and even during the rut, I have one in particular, and I'm gonna have to post the pictures again. But one of these guys, he was skeptical. We bought it, and he's like, "Dude, you are not gonna believe this shit." His biggest buck that he was after on his property was literally coming in and bedding down in the scrape all day. Like, when I say all day, I'm talking sleeping in it for about 4 hours, waiting for the challenger buck to come in that was making this scrape. It was insane. He showed me this. He's like, "Look at the timestamps on this." He said, "I'm at work," and I'm like pissed that I can't get in there after this deer. He said, "I couldn't believe he stayed there that long." So great products, great scents.
Locked in.
You got to, if you haven't tried Apparition Scents, you definitely want to try them. We're going to get some in your hands. You're going to
bet.
love that stuff this year. It's awesome stuff. You'll get a chance to meet Dave. He'll be down here quite a bit. So, good dude, great products. So Apparition Scents, if you can't get into Creek Archery again, you can get on his website or reach out to Dave. He'll talk to you all day about deer pea if you want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
So, and last but not least, we got to bring up Patriot Pursuit. Patriot Pursuit is one of those organizations that's just doing some cool stuff for veterans. They are, Artie Martz, who runs Patriot Pursuit, is such an awesome guy. And he put together this program, where he just is working with different outfitters, whether it be fishing outfitters, whether it be hunting outfitters. They're doing like clay pigeon shoots and all kind of cool stuff. And what they're doing is a lot of times this is just he's giving it away to these veterans just to say thank you for what you've done,
Yes.
for what you've done for this country. And it's so awesome. And he's getting so many people on board that are just like wanting to be part of this.
Yeah.
I know that recently they just come back from a Florida 3-day fishing trip that they took some veterans on. The flight down, paid for. Flight back, paid for.
Yeah.
Hotels, paid for. Meals, paid for. Fishing trips, paid for. all those people had to do was show up, and it was because they did what they do for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And not just veterans, but when I say veterans, also
Law enforcement.
you know, law
First
enforcement,
Yep,
responders.
first responders.
anybody that has any type of job like that in the industry, and current, you don't have to be retired, it could be current, you know, he's willing to just say, hey, thank you, we want to get you out there. So definitely go out and check out Patriot Pursuit and what they're all about, because they're doing some really cool stuff as well.
Yep.
You know, awesome people, you know, Chris Bird, Artie March, great guys. Check them out, and if there's any way you can support them. And also, they do some giveaways, which they team up with us on as well, where you don't have to be a veteran. I mean, most of the time the idea is that you are some sort of veteran.
Yeah.
But
They
also
wanna
they
give
know
back.
that they know they
Yeah,
need the
to the
support,
people that support
of
them
those
also.
that are not veterans or
Yeah.
first responders. So we gave away a walleye fishing trip, you know, that was for anybody. All you had to do was just go on our page and I think just comment fish on, and we gave you a number, and then we just raffled it off. And you didn't have to be a veteran for that or first responder.
Had
So,
about 5 pages
Yeah.
try to be us for
Yeah,
about
so-
a month.
yeah,
And you got to block them.
yeah, we had to go through all that. Yeah, we'll talk about that because you know all too well about that stuff. But yeah, it was cool because you know those guys realized, hey, we need everyone's support, and you weren't asked to like this 9 times and go over to here and tell 75 of your friends to do this and all that. It was just come on our page, say fish on, that's it. And you're going to get a chance to maybe win. And we knew some of these people that won, and they were happy as hell. It was pretty cool. So.
Yep.
But I think that's all the sponsors we
got it
need to
all
go through.
tonight.
I think we got it all. I didn't forget anybody.
proud of
I
you.
know that was long-winded. Sorry about that.
Well,
but
we've been away from the studio.
we've been away for a while, and just
We've
wanted
been doing
to thank all
traveling
them people.
podcasts, and
It's we were in different areas, and we did one downstairs with our guest that will be out next week, or
Yes.
our 2 guests.
Yes.
That one will be coming
Yep.
out.
after this recording.
Actually, this will be
Yeah.
that'll be out
Done.
well before
You already
this,
listened
but,
to it if you're
yeah,
listening to this
so
one.
if you're listening to this
Yeah.
one, I guess I can say it then. You know, the podcast we did with Mr. Dan Young and Skippy from Gearhead. We were that was fun.
Well, it's downstairs because it was hot up here.
It was
so
Yeah.
friggin' hot up here in the studio,
was.
and Dan had his bed made up that he jacked me about 2 benches I put together in an archery target for a footstool.
couches.
Dan he went and already bought himself a new cot for next
Yeah,
year.
because he
can't
knows
wait.
what his accommodations are if he does.
Well, you know,
You don't mess around.
what do
I'll
you
bring
want?
mine next time.
So, but yeah, so a little bit long-winded, but anyhow, back in the studio, happy to be here, and let's move on.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into this one. This is, this was cool because our guest here, the first time he come into the shop, I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't know all of his content. I looked at him, I was like, yeah, the dude looks familiar. Maybe. But, I've kind of done that with other people that I've had in the shop before as well. You know, we've had some other people come in. We've done some work for, one of Pittsburgh Steelers and some other people. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. But I'm like, I don't want to be a jackass. Like, hey, are you this or that, So it's like, we just talked and bullshit and, puts his pants on the same way we do. And
Yep.
it's like, one of those things like, hey, cool. So then he leaves. And then Mom, I say something
Because
about it.
me and Mom used to send videos back and forth of
Yeah. So
I apologize. That's my bad.
the snakes in the she shed one
Yeah,
was.
dude. So Mom was like,
Great.
she was not here that night. She's like, "Are you serious? He was at the shop tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah." Mike was not here, and Mike probably knows every video just as well as the gentleman that made them. But Walt knew. Walt's like, "Hey, you know who that is?" I'm like, "Dude, I think, but I don't know." He's like, and then he told me, I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool." So he comes down to shop. He's looking to get into another bow, and we talked about bows, and of course, with his busy schedule, he's like, "Hey, we'll, I'll get a chance. We'll be back down." And so we hadn't seen him for a while, and then all of a sudden, TAC rolls around, and we're at TAC, and like, holy shit,
Boom, boom.
boom, there he is. He comes back in and was like hanging out with us pretty
Well, I'll
much
be
all
honest.
weekend.
I thought you were
So-
bullshitting me because he had told me like forever ago, that you were in, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And then
Dude,
like,
after I left, it was literally like a 6-month stint of just, okay, I'm going to Oklahoma, Texas, North South Carolina, go up to New York, come back down. And then it's, okay, I finally have a night. I'll just make my way over. And then the old lady's like, you're not leaving. You're staying home. You've been traveling. So sit your butt on the couch. And I'm like, I'll get there when I get there. I don't know. I don't know what to tell this guy.
Yeah. So, yeah. So he, you know, we see him at TAC and we're like, hey, man, you know, just bullshit and hanging out again. Hung out with us all weekend and came back down to shop. And now here we are in the podcast studio. So, so most of you out there that would know this gentleman, you're not going to know him. Well, maybe you'd know him from some hunting content. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I do know that one of his videos, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? He's got his target up against a brick wall.
It's my house.
No, yeah, like
That's my
like
house.
no backstop. The
Nope.
backstop is a brick wall. I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess I'm selling
There's
this
a
dude
reason.
some arrows.
There's
you
a
know?
reason.
So I guess we'll get into that. So you might know him from some hunting content, but let me throw some of this at you. These are some of the things he said before.
Oh, dear God.
The forbidden Alaskan wood puppy,
Uh-huh.
the armored pond demon,
Facts.
the syringe needles from hell,
I hate snakes. I hate them so
the
much.
Versace sky pigeon,
I found out he was screwing that pole. I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. I didn't know what he was doing. He was. That's what he was doing. Little bastard.
and last but not least, because I had to write some of these down because I knew I wouldn't remember, the furry crack missile.
Ferrets scare the piss out of me. Not gonna lie.
So if any of you recognize any of those little sayings there or certain types of animals, that would be from our guest, who we are extremely pleased to have with us tonight, Mr. Paul Buning.
There you go. Good.
Paul
Right.
Buning.
Attaboy.
And if you don't know that name, you're going to know him as Taco Reacts.
Facts.
Mr. Taco Reacts. How you
Howdy,
doing,
howdy.
brother?
I'm good.
That's
I'm
awesome.
good.
man.
I'm
We're-
glad to be here. We're having a freaking blast, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I gotta
man.
make sure I don't scoot back too far. Hold on. I got little legs, so I can get close.
I had to take the braces off the back of here so I can scoot in.
So, you've got long legs.
So thanks for being with us, man. We appreciate you
Absolutely.
being here. This
Absolutely,
is
man.
yeah, we're happy to be back in the studio and to have you back as our 1st guest
Mhm.
since we got back. It's cool, man. It's been
It's good times.
yeah, it's been fun. So TAC, you know, yeah, we got
Uh-huh.
to hook up with you up there. So how'd that go for you shooting some arrows up there?
I lost a lot. It's one of those things that. So to start with, I've got sub 200 days with a bow in my hand, right?
Right.
And it's supposed to be great. It's supposed to be relaxing. I'm not supposed to yell. I'm not supposed to scream. And then TAC rolls around, and I remember that I have allocated between $400 and $600 for arrows because I already know what's going to happen the moment I step out there. And every single time, just yeet, 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 left, right, up, down, up, down. It is what it is. But TAC is something that is its own monster. You're going to meet people that you find and you love. You're going to meet people that you're like, okay, this guy's going to outshoot me for the next 40 years of my life.
Yep.
I will never be able to catch him. And then you're going to meet people that are just now starting out and you want nothing more than to help them.
Yeah.
I love the TAC.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah, it's such an awesome environment, you know, and what I love about it, you know, playing off of what you just said there is everyone that's there, everyone is there because they love archery.
Mhm.
You know, and it's such a cool thing and you know being what being that archery's been my passion my whole life, I think it's just like there's really no better place to be than at a TAC event.
Oh, yeah.
It's
And
amazing.
anyone that has not been to one
Yeah.
has to go to
This
one.
was my first year, and I was blown away by
Yeah.
it. It was so awesome.
Yeah, they've grown that so much. I can remember when that first started. We
Yep.
talked to Rob about that on the podcast with him, where that all began. And,
Mm-hmm.
and if you haven't, you know, listeners, viewers out there, if you have not listened to that podcast or seen it, you need to check it out because it goes over the history of TAC from day one. And,
Yeah.
But it's such a cool event, and like you said,
Mm-hmm.
the people there, everybody's so helpful. You know, that's everybody's wanting to have a good time and just hang out and break shit. You know,
Yeah.
And I, as a store owner, I love it, man.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we're selling arrows.
Come
Yeah.
buy new stuff. It's
Yeah,
great.
hell yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's cool. So Now, was that your first TAC event?
No.
No.
So that would have been, I think, the third or fourth, because we did the first year I didn't shoot. I went up, I brought camera equipment, followed our little group around. Next year I went up and I shot, and then immediately after that we left and went to Brighton. So we did that. I think that was the first year that they had it at Brighton. I think they had another one wherever else in Utah. And then, so this would have been fourth.
Okay, cool.
And the goal is always do the PA TAC as long as I live here.
Yeah.
And then one other one throughout the year.
Right.
So double it up and do 2 a year and
There you go.
Yeah.
just see where it
we
goes.
had
That's a
kind
good
of
deal.
mentioned that is like it's obviously you go to the PA one because it's huge too, but
Right.
it would be cool to see another.
Yeah.
Well, we could do the
States.
Vermont next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Just do a
Yeah.
double ride out there. It's
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Yeah. We ought to definitely talk about that.
Absolutely.
You know, getting something else going. Because, I mean, it was fun. And,
It was a
you know, for
blast.
me, I don't get to shoot because I'm so busy, you know, as you know, Nick Munn said, you know, what was it? Kissing babies. And
Kissing hands and
Kissing
shaking
hands
babies.
and
Yeah,
shaking
kissing-
babies.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm doing down there in Vendor Village, you know, just trying to run the shop
Yep.
and network and keep things
The
rolling.
mayor.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, so I don't get a chance to shoot. So I would love to be able to just go to one and shoot, you
Yeah.
know. So,
What courses did you end up shooting then? Talking about shooting.
We did Prime, Sitka, and then Sunday I stayed down with y'all. So I
Yeah.
skipped out on shooting, which for those of you that have not been, shooting is 50% of the actual event. Anything past that, the village is its own monster.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You have people that show up just to be there. They don't
Yeah.
even shoot.
Right.
They go
There's
and they
and
shop
a lot
around.
of them, man. A lot.
Yeah, a ton. They just don't go up. Or I noticed a bunch that it was their first time and they came out and said, you know, hey, we saw it. We saw the stuff last year. We saw people posting about it. We figured we'd come out this year and just kind of see what it's about. And then next year we'll shoot. And then by the end of the third day, they're itching. They're like, we're going back to our house. It's 3.5 hours. I don't care. We're grabbing our bow. We're going to shoot last day. And you're like, good job.
Yeah.
Finally, you decided to get off your
Right.
ass and do something.
That's, I was bummed out
Yeah.
because right now my sight only goes out to 40 yards because we didn't expect me to be wanting to shoot
Uh-huh.
beyond that yet. And so I brought my bow. I went and did like the practice range and stuff like that. But then I went out with him and his buddies on their course and
Mm-hmm.
they're like, why didn't you bring your bow? And I'm like, I have a 40-yard pin and that's
we
it.
would have let her
No.
walk up.
And they're like, who cares? Just why? And by the end of it, I was like, man,
Uh-huh.
I should have shot it.
Well, so mine, I'm rocking a Tetra Rise, but I'm on a single cam Baron counter. So my issue is I can only go so far, and I get to about 67 on the actual slide, and then I'm touching fletching.
Oh,
Okay. So I'm not hitting anything past 60, 70. And if I am, it's Kentucky windage, and I have to use my actual bubble as my next pin. I'll walk up.
Yeah.
It doesn't, but
Yeah.
there's also where I lose all my arrows because everybody else is I'm an alpha dude, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's hitting 110, 112. Some of the guys are stepping back to 130 just to see if they can do it. I'm not going to walk up to 60 on that one. I'm going to rock this arrow from way back here.
Yeah.
Now I'm missing by 47 feet, but that's not the problem.
That's
okay?
me because I didn't shoot at TAC, but we went and just did a local 3D shoot, and they had a novelty shot that was 80 yards. And at first, I'm like, I'm not going to shoot it. I have a 40-yard pin. And they're like, oh, come on. You have to shoot one of them. And we're like guessing on which hole in the trees I need to aim at with my 40-yard
branch.
pin.
It works.
And
it's perfect.
I just barely shot underneath the target, and I
So we
was
were
so
close.
proud of myself.
You just walk it up.
Yeah.
Do your first shot, figure out how low you are, and then just click it like
But
a
that's
rifle.
my thing. I'm like, I'm not going to walk up to 40 while everybody else is shooting. Even the course we just did last weekend, most of the shots were 40 yards and beyond
Yeah.
for like the hunting stake. And I'm like, I'm not walking up to the white stake. I want to shoot from here. I'm going to guess the whole time. And that's why I lost a lot of arrows. But my ego wouldn't let me just walk up and take the shot.
The TAC can be run two different ways. They give you a scorecard, and if there is money on the line and you actually want to sit there and here's the 10 ring, 12 ring, we're going to score everything out. Cool. You be in the different group because my group is there for the novelty shots.
Uh-huh.
I am taking a bow that it will make it to 100 yards, but my sight and combination will not allow me to accurately do it. I don't care about accuracy at this point.
Nope.
I care about, can I hit that on the fly.
Yeah.
Foam is home.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't care
Yeah.
where it hits.
Yeah. Right.
Shoot it in the foot. Who cares?
Yeah,
As far as
that's
I'm concerned, I'm there to have fun.
Right.
And I've allocated X
Yeah.
amount of money, and it's, you don't have to spend as much as I do. But you want to go in there and you've got a dozen for what, 60?
Yeah. Yeah. Downstairs now. I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
so for
60
that,
bucks for a
I could
dozen
buy
arrows.
4 dozen
Yeah.
arrows
Mhm.
for what I normally would pay and really not care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to shoot between that little V that gives you 2.5 inches, and I'm going to keep shooting until I make the target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me.
Right. Yeah.
But if-
exactly.
If you go out and shoot, I think they have for vendors, you have your own time slot. I think. Don't quote me on it, but you have your own little area that you can just go shoot, and it's a course. So
Yeah.
talk to them about it.
Yeah, I
'cause
know it's a
that's fun.
PM time frame. I think
Yes,
that time
it's-
slot.
It's
yeah.
either it's really really early or like an afternoon time
Yeah.
slot.
Dean and them might have known because they all went up on them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They went and asked when could they go up,
Oh,
and then
okay.
they were
So
told
then
when
they,
to
they were
go.
told. Yeah.
He signed up to be able to shoot with his buddies, so we
Mhm.
went like a later morning time slot. But I mean, the PM time slots, you're running into being stuck up there for a long time. Like our
Yes.
guys went up mid afternoon and didn't come back until Vendor Village was
Oh, yeah.
closed, which did not work out
Yeah.
well for us at the tent.
They're like, I
Yeah.
asked them what course they were shooting. We were like, we're going to knock on. And they were like, I was like, oh, what time you going? I think it was like 1
It was
o'clock.
one.
I looked at my watch. I said, all right, I'll see you at 7. They were like, no.
Yeah,
Oh,
they thought they were going to be
Oh,
gone like
yeah.
2.5 hours. Yeah, it was
Yes.
like 6.5 hours they were gone.
Yeah.
Granted, there was a little bit of a backup because of the
Yeah, I mean,
popularity of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know.
we held down the
definite-
fort.
yeah,
it was
it's-
good.
Mhm.
It's worth getting up there and seeing it. And it would be nicer to go to a different event so that we don't have to worry about, all right, who's staying at the tent, because there's
Right.
times I'd look up and you're gone, and I'm like, what the hell am I?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I mean,
Networking.
even
We're
though,
networking.
yeah, and we could still do that. I mean, us going
Yeah.
to another event, hell yeah, we can still podcast and
Just do an
you know,
Airbnb
yeah.
and go
Yeah.
up there.
Yep.
Do
Yeah.
it close and boom. And we've got plenty that are I wouldn't say generally close, but within, it's a 7-hour drive to what the Michigan one's up top. So you're 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever
yeah,
it is.
maybe. And
Max.
I can't speculate, but I know Rob's looking at some new venues.
Mhm.
So there's potentially one that if it works out, you're talking for us from here to there, 3 hours.
I'll drive
I'm fine with
anywhere.
that.
I've done
Yeah.
2 cross country drives. I'll drive it.
I do it for work all the time. If it's sub 18 hours, if it's anything over 18, I'll fly. Otherwise, go to sleep in the back. I'll just drive.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, so we definitely, we gotta hook up and do that for sure.
Yeah.
We'll plan that out.
No,
We'll take
yeah.
the bikes out too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll
Ride
have
them
to-
around.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll have to do that. Yeah, we'll have to get into that and talk about that. But before we go too far though, let's get into, I guess, and we do this with all the guests. We like to go back.
Okay.
Like, let's talk about you in the sense of, the hunting. Like, where did this passion come from for you? How, where did this start? Growing up. At what age? Kind of. Let's just take a step back before you were, Taco.
Hmm.
Let's talk about that Paul Buning and
So it would be grandfather. Now, growing up, grandfather was 30-year Marine Corps. So he gets out, becomes a teacher. So we would have the same amount of summer together. And we'd go out, target practice, rifle shooting. Fishing was a big thing for us. We did all this stuff together. And then once I got old enough, we have family that is in Kansas, Great Bend, Larned, Pawnee Rock, McCracken, all in that general area. And it was pheasant and quail. So we started with birds.
right.
Deer did not come until a lot later. And I don't think it was something that my grandfather was really that interested in.
Right.
And inherently, because he wasn't interested in it, I wasn't interested in it.
Right. That makes
Um,
sense.
And same with bows. I grew up in an area that we were right next to the Arkansas River in Oklahoma. So you're talking South Tulsa, Bixby area. And it was farmland, horse ranches, sand plants. And then 1 mile north was just a couple of neighborhoods that were up there. So you could go out and ride horses, you go out and play on four-wheelers, everything else. And that's where we would practice shoot. We would shoot into the river.
Right.
But all my buddies, none of them liked bow hunting. So it wasn't a big thing as far as deer or the rest of it. We'd see them everywhere. But it was ducks, pheasant, quail. We did not get into turkey. was the irony. So there's a lot that I have not done,
Right.
but there's also a bunch that in the last 4 years I have made leaps and bounds, and
Right.
now we're starting to do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I've surrounded myself with people that are not obsessed, but almost obsessed with it.
Borderline.
Yeah, just almost there. It's kind of almost psycho, but it's good. We're okay with it. And then it's springboard since then. So I had a baseline, probably from, I'd say that he got me in around 11. And then from 11 to about 20 was my time with him. And then after that, it was you're on your own, do whatever you want to. You join the workforce, and all of a sudden you don't have time. Now you're working 7 days a week, 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. When do I take time? So I took, I don't know, 8 years off where I didn't hunt, I didn't fish, I didn't do anything,
Yeah.
and just got miserable.
Yeah.
There was no outlet. There was no, and I think that's another thing that looking at the hunting community, it's our outlet. It's our
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
no
it is.
phone,
Yeah.
no cell phone reception. You can turn everything off, and it's
Yep.
just you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Dude,
insane.
I
It's so
look-
funny. That's a conversation we have on almost every episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a
we do.
staple whenever you look at it.
I
You're
mean,
just like,
you know,
God.
when we go to Illinois the third week of November every year, like that's vacation.
Yeah.
I'm, you know, don't get me wrong. I love the archery shop. I love the business. I love the people, but I also love the break that
Mhm.
week. You know, and we look forward to that. You know, because a lot of places we're hunting out there, the phone doesn't work, and I'm okay with that.
That's so we have property in Colorado right above the New Mexico border. There's nothing. If you do not have like a two-way radio and you are not somewhere close to where the cabin is, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Which growing up, whenever we would take our vacations, we would go up to the cabin and it would be grandpa and grandma would be sitting there reading their books because there was no TV. It's a bunk bed, another single bed. The cabin is, I don't know, probably 16 by 20. Small.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right on the river. You do everything else. So I would be out. Now, granted, I was too young at the time to bring anything with me. A bow would have been great, but I
Right.
wasn't into it.
Right.
But no cell phone reception it's almost like a drug now.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
And especially doing social media and the rest of the
Right.
stuff. And
Right.
besides my actual business, the social media takes up every last bit of the day. So if I can get away from that phone and just fish or
Yeah.
hunt, oh God, life is so great.
Yeah, you need that at times. You need to be able to just recharge and
Mhm.
just, you know, get away from it. And, you know, and you know, we all use them all the time. I mean, it's just
It's
it
too
is-
easy just to
Yeah.
like just. We'll say or like we need to really watch how much we're on our phones. We like don't need to be sitting there doing it. And then like he'll get in the shower and I'm just here I am. And he comes out and
Immediately.
he's like, "Yep."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What you doing?" I'm like scrolling.
I get it. And my job is to keep you on whatever app you're on. And it sucks because I look at it and I'm like, if they just come to my page and only scroll my page, then they can get their micro doses in
Yeah.
and everything's great. So the key now for me, going back, I think about hunting as almost nostalgia. And that is something that I want people to follow that journey now.
Right.
And I've never put it online. I've never done anything. It's always been either comedy or
Right.
the boudoir or whatever else that I've been putting on there. Now I'm starting to put, I just don't care anymore. I don't care what society says. Okay, well, Taco needs to make funny videos about snakes. Okay, well, Taco's about to make funny videos about him missing a deer at 12 yards because he didn't do his sight tape correctly
Right.
or whatever it is. These are real life experiences, and you can find humor in hunting.
Absolutely.
And
Oh, yeah.
anybody that's been at a deer camp or a hunting camp in
Oh,
general,
you ain't
good
kidding.
Lord, the
Yep.
stories that you hear.
Yeah.
And dude, I've missed it since I was a kid, and now that I'm back into it, it's like a high.
Oh, it absolutely.
It's so much
It
fun.
is.
We got to share a full day of camp with the guys from Respect the Game TV.
Mhm.
You want to talk about laughs? I mean,
Oh my gosh.
dude.
There was
It was
crying at
so
some
funny.
points
Yeah,
from
it was-
laughter. It was
Yeah, and you need that. You
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I mean? Like you know, with our busy lives and the things we do every day, you've got to do
Yeah,
that.
you and at that point, along with the phones, you forget you have a phone.
Yeah.
When you're around those
I
people
love it.
too, it's
Yep.
not only shutting it off. That's 50% of it.
Oh,
The
yeah.
other 50% is you forget you have it.
I will accidentally forget it in the truck 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's not in my pocket.
Yeah.
I purposely put it out so you just focus.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep. Sometimes you got to do that. Yeah. So you're going to be doing some content then, getting into the hunting stuff, and
Yep.
that's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, I mean, I watch, you shooting, like I love it because I know I'm going to sell you some arrows at some point because they're going to hit your house.
Yeah.
But it's
Yep.
just, it was cool. It was cool because I saw that, and then to either side of that, your content is, like you said, the snakes and just the funny shit, you sitting in your truck and all that. But I guess, I mean, we're talking about how did that even come about? Like, what did you,
Buddy.
where the hell did that start?
So I was in corporate for nearly 15 years. And I was doing photography business on the side. The running joke is corporate was the IRS money. The fun stuff was, hey, I need a boat. I need whatever it is. It is what it is.
Right.
I'm sitting there one day and somebody looks over and they're like, yo, Facebook is making me mad. Social media is making me mad. IG's making me mad. And Musically had been out there. And I was like, dude, I'm not going to get online and dance. I'm at that time, I was 205 and 5'5". I was a bowling ball, right? I'm not going to shake. I'm not going to dance. I'm not going to do nothing, my guy. So I'm sitting there and I'm laughing at it and I'm scrolling it. And I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. Well, Musically goes away and TikTok comes out. I said, screw it. I'll put something on there. I'll use it to get customers in and I'll make more sales, and it is what it is.
Right.
And in 2 months, I hit 1 million. And I went, oh, dear God. Oh, no. Now corporate's calling me and saying, hey, so we're going to need you to watch what you're posting, especially wearing our shirts. And I went, cool. Found a fix for that. I just won't wear your shirts. So I stopped wearing all their shirts. Stopped wearing my company's shirts, and I started making my own shirts. Started doing that. And then that account got me. It was not that account. It was the second account. First one I lost because I have a tendency to not sugarcoat anything. It is, this is right, this is wrong, and if you believe in the wrong, then you're an idiot, and I hope you stub your toe on every piece of furniture in your house. Well, everybody got upsetty spaghetti right around COVID, so I lost that account after hitting 1 million, made another one, 4 months, made another 1 million, lost that account. So I went through 5 accounts, each one hitting 1 million, before I finally figured out that I needed to stop pissing people off. But in that time period, I already quit my job. I got offered to go on tour across the U.S. And Mexico. So we did that for almost 3.5 years.
Wow.
All from making one video that turned into 2, that turned into 3, that turned into 4. And they were never meant to be anything more than what they were, which was just videos.
Yeah.
And then it turned into, now we're sitting at 3.3 on one account, 2.3 on another, almost 400,000 on another. Facebook, which has 17,000 fake accounts out there of
I was
me.
just going to say, dude,
Dude, I hate it.
That's what I
sometimes I'm
messaged you the other day. I'm like,
which one do you follow?
Yeah,
because it's like,
well,
holy
there's the
shit.
problem. And
Yeah.
each one of them is making money. There's the issue.
Yeah.
So you have to dive into the copyright infringement and intellectual property infringement. And there's a whole nother ball game within that, of which, where do you stop doing your actual business to sit here and deal with the people that
Yeah.
are faking being you? I'm not going to give up my actual income to sit here and deal with Joe Blow Durkistan from Canada that's making 20 grand a month off my likeness. I'll just let it ride. And then once you do, you figure out how to sue them and then backlog it all.
Right.
So instead of, hey, you got to take your thing down, you need to pay me whatever it was that you made. Now it's, you need to take it down and pay me back for the last 3 years.
Right.
And then maybe I'll just retire at a very young age. Because I'm so over it, man. Social
Yeah.
media is great in the essence of, I have a platform and I can use it however I want to. I can talk to people about hunting, fishing. I could, if I wanted to make a whole new channel that teaches kids without fathers, here's how you change a tire. Here's how you tie a tie. It's already been done, but some people would want to see me do it. I have that ability, but the amount of messages that you get daily, and in the time frame that we've been here, I pulled it up right before we got on, 52,000 notifications off one account alone. And every single person expects you to respond.
Dude,
Right.
when you got a hold of me when we were, doing stuff with the Ubco
Mhm.
bikes,
Right?
and I was, we're at TAC, so I'm on my way home that night. You said, "Hey, I got a few people that need you to respond to them about the bikes." I'm like, "Okay." So I don't know about you, but I'm thinking a few is like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 people. I come down here at the shop. I get everything I need. I get home. I lay down in bed. I grab the phone. It's 12:30 at night. I got to be back at TAC at 5. Put my reading glasses on. I'm looking. Yes, because I'm old. I look at the phone, and I'm on his social to answer these questions, and I was like, "Does that say 223 people?" I'm like, "Are you shitting me? That's more than a few. I'm going to be here until morning." So I know where you're coming from. Like,
And
holy
that's-
shit, man.
That's a small post.
Yeah.
That video only got 163,000 views. So only looking at that, whenever your monthly average is 60 to 70 million views on just one account, you're only getting 200 and something people. So it's the trickle effect, right? We talked about this at TAC.
Yeah.
If I do one and I get 200 and I do another and I get 400 and then I keep doing it, it's going to turn into a river at some point, and then somebody has to hire somebody to answer this shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Like
right,
there's
yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
It was after the 4th account, I was really good about answering everybody. After the 4th account and while we were on tour, I just stopped, just dead stop. And then all of a sudden, all my problems started going away. I didn't have to answer all these people who were like, "Hey, man, your brother-in-law called me," and I'm like, "I don't have a brother-in-law." So like, who called you? And they're like, "Well, man, it said that I want a giveaway and you owe me 10 grand." I was like, "Buddy, I'm not paying you 10 grand.
Yeah.
I'll pay myself." But it's one of those that like social media in and of itself is the greatest curse and gift out there.
Yeah.
Because you can have it and it could be gone tomorrow, or you could do exactly what needs to be done and never get political, never get religious, never get biased, never take a side except if it's right and wrong. And you could just, go to the stars.
Yeah.
By the end of this, like, IG right now has gained 50,000 followers in the last 6 months. If that keeps on track and the trickle effect keeps going, by the end of this year, middle of next year, you could be 500,000 to 1 million on IG, which is great because then you start talking to companies and you go, "So here's what I do. Is it going to be enough to take out what I'm doing right now?" Which the boudoir is a passion. I love
Yeah.
doing it, right? I've done it for, nearly half my life. Am I willing to give that up for X amount? And there's the question that I have to ask myself is, where do I want to keep going? Which I don't think I'll ever give that up. But if somebody wants to, there's guys right now that are making $150,000 a month off just social media.
Yeah.
That would be a nice little area to get into.
Yeah.
And contrary to popular belief, Taco is not making $150,000 a month. I hate to tell you.
It'd be nice.
It
And that,
would.
that just goes to show how difficult it is to do as well, because you have all of these followers and you can pull open TikTok right now. One of your videos will probably pop up in the first couple of scrolls. It's not as easy as it looks, and it takes a lot of work. I think that's the hardest part is people don't understand how hard you have to work at it. It doesn't just come to you.
It is one of those that it's consistency and everything else, but overall, it's who you like. I'm not tooting my own horn. I want people to understand that it is who you are as a person.
Right.
I could sell my soul to sit here and sell water bottles. You know what I mean? Company could reach out and say, "Hey, we're willing to pay you $5,000 a month. Every single thing needs to be a paid sponsorship. We own all creative freedom. You have to do what we tell you to in order to make that $5,000.
Right.
Cool. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and say, "Hey, this is the greatest product on the planet. Fish don't pee in this. Life is great." No, it's piss water is what it is. It's the same thing that you can buy from a
Right.
store. The same thing now after TAC, all of a sudden companies start reaching out. So-and-so wants to get on a phone call. So-and-so wants to do a Zoom call. Hey, we're willing to do this and this and this, and that's fine. But you're getting ahead of yourself because here's contracts. Because I have to protect myself.
Absolutely.
Your company needs to protect themselves. But everybody's just like, no, 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 no. We're going to send you all of this stuff without you asking or saying it's okay. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I'll burn it in my backyard, and that will be the video that I'll make. Don't do that.
Right.
If I ask you, cool. If I talk to you about a contract, cool. But nobody's willing to do that, and that's why companies don't want influencers anymore. And I hate that term. I'm not an influencer. I'm an asshole with a cell phone. That's it. And people just generally tend to go, you know what? He kind of tells it like it is, and
I think
I'll
people,
deal with it.
yeah, people respect that.
Everybody else right now at social media is hard to get into and hard to make a career out of because so many have screwed the rest of us. That's the biggest issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That along the lines of the, dealing with companies and believing in what you use, that's how we are. And that's, before we
yeah.
started this podcast, we talked about that,
Yeah.
it was, the three of us agreed, as this grows, we are not going to take on a product that we would not use
Well, we're not going to
or
sit here
believe in.
and lie to our
Yeah, I'm not gonna
listeners
lie
that
to
this is-
anybody.
That
Yeah,
this is the
absolutely not.
greatest product ever, and
No.
in reality, we're like, oh, this sucks. Like we're just doing it to get the money for it. Or
We've all
free
had this
stuff.
conversation
Yeah.
off air and with outside of the TAC, everything else. And again, there's the reason that I pick and choose who I work with. And talking with you guys, there was no, your gut instinct is always correct. Let's start there.
Yeah.
You know immediately there is always something either off or on about somebody. There has not been any issue, and we have made it leaps and bounds as far as communication wise and business to business wise since before December, the TAC up till now. We have made years worth of movement forward where everybody else would still be in the talking stage. It is amazing.
Yeah, it's just I've learned a long time ago a few things in life. It's not hard to be nice to people.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to tell them the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they want to hear it or not.
And it's
you
not hard
have to do
to
that.
tell when somebody's being fake with you or
Absolutely.
just telling you what you want to hear.
Absolutely. And I could not do that. I could not take a product like you said, that bottle of water or whatever it is, and tell people you need to drink this water if I don't drink that water and I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
And I'm just not going to do it. With sponsors that we have, I can honestly tell you that before Toyota Greensburg reached out to us, I was on my third Tundra.
Mm-hmm.
My third Toyota Tundra. My wife was on her second Toyota 4Runner.
And prior to
You had already
Toyota, you
had
were a
yours.
brand
Yeah.
jumper.
Yeah,
Like you would just
I
drive.
did. Yeah, I was. That's no bullshit. I'd buy whatever I liked
Yeah.
because I was never brand loyal. But when Amy said, hey, I think I like the 4Runners, I want to check it out. Well, she did. And I'm there with her, and I'm like, well, I like trucks. Let me look at the Tundra. And that's kind of where it started.
Yeah.
And then getting to know those people there and how they treated us,
Mm-hmm.
and we just become friends. Like, I can walk in there now, and I don't have to be walking in there to buy something. We could just walk in there and just bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. And it's the same thing like with, and not to go over all these brands again, but, with like Jordan Kofta. When I met Jordan was when he first got his job with Elite Archery at the ATA show. Young kid, took him out. I got him absolutely plastered. And he never forgets that.
I would like to see that.
But dude, it was so funny. It was so funny. You'll have to ask Jordan about that.
Oh, we will.
Maybe he brought it up in his podcast. I can't
never.
remember. Maybe
That's
he
the
did.
next one I'm editing.
But anyhow,
so-
but here again, like with him, when I'm sitting at home at that night that I got the call that, hey, we like what you guys are doing with the podcast. We want you on board with Elite Archery. Well, I sell just about every brand of bow in my shop. And I will tell you, they're all good. They're all good for someone.
Right.
But if you tied me to my couch and said, I'm going down your shop right now to see if you're shooting an elite bow, you could bet your ass I was. And it's not because I was looking for any kind of sponsorships or partnerships. It's because I believed in what I shoot.
Yeah.
And not that I didn't believe in the other brands. It's just that bow fit me.
well, even before
So I can honestly
the
tell
podcast
people when
was
they
a
ask
thing,
me.
you
Yeah,
had
right.
said to me, you should try shooting the
I
Allure.
did.
Mhm.
I did.
Yeah, that was way before
so,
we even. Yeah.
Yeah, and so my point there is back to what you said. Yeah, we're going to promote something if we believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
100%. And I'm always going to tell everybody honest whether they want to hear it or not. And that's just the way we're going to do things. And I think that we were able to hit it off with you very well because that's how you are. And there's never going to be any.
There are only 5 companies I have ever openly promoted. There are several companies that I have promoted and this is a non-payment thing. I'm not getting paid for any of them. I genuinely love the product. And if I do, product placement will happen. Product placement is happening right now as we speak, but I don't need to speak on it. It doesn't bother me. The gentleman that got me the hat is Snuff Cup. It is 4 guys that dip. Lost his farm. Granddaddy lost it. Bank came and took it back. He said, "Screw that. I'm going to do a product, and I'm going to get my farm back." Instead of begging online, "Please, just start a GoFundMe." Blah,
Yeah.
blah,
Right,
blah."
right.
No, he said, "Screw that. That's not how I was raised."
He's grinding
The
it out.
dude sent me stuff without asking. He said, "Dude, I just like your content. That's it. I'm not asking you for anything. If you want to review it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too."
Right.
Awesome.
It's a gift almost.
Yeah. And it's fine. It's one of those that I don't think I've done a video in the past year without this hat on. Now, the people that don't know, they don't know. The people that do know, they know exactly why I do it.
Right.
But if the product is good, great. If the product is shit, I want people to understand I can either make or break your company. And I do not mean that in a bad way.
Right.
But if I make a video that says Joe Blow has a hot sauce and the one that I got was moldy and it was crappy and it tasted bad, packaging was off, overall, I think it would be a great product. Everybody that follows me are heathens. They will go over. And we've had, dude, I say it as a
Heathens.
joke, but there was a company out of Tulsa that I had a problem with. I won't say their name now. I'm not going to give them any more of their 15 minutes of fame. I made a comment about them and how we were treated in general, and I backed it up with video proof. They received 5,000 one-star reviews within an hour.
Wow.
That is insane. People from California are commenting who have never been to this place. Be nice to your people. Be good to your customers, because it's not hard as a company.
No.
Correct.
And the first time you and I met, you came over and apologized multiple times that you hadn't been able to get over to me. I think I stood down there for 2 hours and I told you that. I said, "Hey, it's fine. I've got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
But I have questions that need answered, and I will wait for you because you're the fucking guy." It's
Yeah,
great.
I mean, no, and we appreciated that, and that's and because me being the person I am, I back to everybody puts their pants on the same way. And I just wanted you to know, hey, we appreciate you coming through our door. We are busy. We'll get to you. And that was the same thing. When we worked with Matt Spaeth from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Matt come in. I didn't tell anybody he was coming. My guys that work for me didn't know he was coming. This guy that comes through the door that's like 7 foot tall, everybody's kind of looking at him like, who the hell is this? But as soon as he come in, we were busy, and it wasn't because I said, hey, guess who's coming tonight? It's we were busy. And I told him, I'm like, hey, we'll get to you, buddy, as soon as we can. And I wanted to get him in and out because I knew he had other shit to do. That didn't happen. And the cool part was he liked being here so much, hanging out with us. We were closed. He was still here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that if you just – and I've always said with my business, if you treat people right, I don't care if there's an archery shop at the end of my parking lot. That doesn't matter to me because I don't have to worry about them. I have to worry about what I do inside my doors.
Yes.
And if you treat people the right way and do things the right way, good things happen.
So that's what people are going to remember. Even if you have the best product in the world, if you have shitty customer service, that's what's going to stick with
Yes.
somebody.
No, absolutely.
Is how uncomfortable you felt interacting with that person, or you felt stupid or something. That's what's going to stick with you.
Especially now more than ever because of social
and
media,
even if you-
because of the internet.
Yes.
Even if you still bought that product, I bet you every time you pick it up, you think about that horrible interaction you had anyways. Like that stuff sticks with you. It's huge that you just if like somebody that you first meet deserves your best from you. Now, if somebody's shitty to you,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's a different story, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard, because me personally, I mean, I want to take care of everybody that comes through the door, but when I get calls daily from manufacturers of products that want me to carry it in my store, and a lot of them I have to say no to, and it's not because they don't make a good product, it's just that I don't think it works for me or for my clientele,
Right.
and I'm not going to bring something in. And because I get asked all the time, well, what do you shoot? What do you use? What are you taking out in the woods with you? I'm not going to sit there and lie to anybody.
Right.
I'm going to tell you. I use it because I like it, because it works well, because it's a great product. So, you just I don't want to ever get in that situation where, you're just gonna feel like you're working with somebody and you have to force yourself to force it on someone else.
Plus, archery is such a another topic we talk about a lot with her starting out. With the archery, and it's so personal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's built to you. You
Yep.
have to build it to you.
And
You know,
there's the curse of archery, though. As far as hunting communities go, you have the greatest community out there in the hunting community, but that's when everybody is there and it's a large event. But it's so convoluted to figure out what works best because you've got to go, you've got to figure out draw length, you've got to figure out weight, you've got to figure out, okay, well, what am I going to put on it? And then you got to talk to somebody somewhere and go, great, I just learned all this. I need to throw that out and try it all on another one. And then it goes to broadheads. Are you doing fixed? Are you doing mechanical? Do you go elevated position? Are you doing, we talked about scent earlier.
Yeah.
You will talk to one person that says, don't ever use antlers, don't ever rattle, don't ever call them in, don't do any of that. You'll never get a deer.
Right.
Then the next guy's like, I pour deer piss down my pants.
Yep.
It's what I do. And I just fart and walk the whole way.
And you're just like, I'm not doing that, but if it works for you, I'm happy for you.
yeah.
When you're getting in, and if you're new,
It's a
I'm
lot.
new, it is almost enough to put you off.
Well, way
And-
before I got into it, I would see him. He'd be talking to a friend, and he's like, "Oh, I was talking to this guy at the archery shop. He said that he shoots this, and I love this and that." I'd be like, "No, that's the worst." Like, and then and he'd go home and watch a million YouTube videos and talk to a million people, and then he doesn't even know he has no idea what to think because everybody has a different opinion. And I was just like, I have no business being in this because every time he thinks he even knows the answer and he's been doing it forever, somebody else tells him, well, no, it has to be this way. So for the longest time, when I started working at the shop, people would ask me questions. I didn't even bother to learn anything because I'm like, how do you even know if you're saying the right thing? So I'd just be like, don't ask me. I don't care to know. And now I'm like, as I'm learning, I'm like, well, no, but this works for me. But it's so hard if you're new. You can hear a million different opinions in one day, and then you're like, well, how am I supposed
And
to
you
feel?
had this little sheet that you had everything written out, and you were so excited to tell everybody, I think this is what I'm going to
Yeah.
do. And then by the end of it, you're going, yeah, okay.
Just tucking it back in your
just
pocket.
let me just throw that away real quick. I apologize for even speaking to you guys. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's that's the way it happens. It's yeah. I mean, and it's not just with archery. I guess it's with anything out there.
Yeah.
People have opinions, and
Yeah.
we know how that goes.
Yeah.
But
It's how you
Yeah, but-
take. It's how
yeah.
you take it. And
Yeah.
at the same time, people knew you get welcome with open arms. You start them slow.
Yeah.
Some
I will
people
say
dive
it's-
down the rabbit hole, and other people
yeah,
just
the
go
hunting
with
and
the flow,
archery, hunting and archery industry as a whole, I believe, is very helpful.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
absolutely.
I think it's we've seen it time and time again where people come in and they're new, they're kind of shy, don't want. I don't know if I should try shooting a bow. Yeah, you should, absolutely, you should, and we're here to help you. And
Trying's
everybody-
not going to hurt anything. Get
No,
after
no.
it.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Now, the fear, and we talked about this at the TAC, is how do we grow a sport that is, in essence, growing by itself? But we have so many people attacking the hunting community from outside it. How do we grow it within it without hurting somebody's feelings, stepping on somebody's toes? And like the PA TAC being the biggest one, how much bigger do you think we can make this thing?
What restricts them now is running into not running into, but running out of time. And I mean that in a sense of they're running all the ways into the beginning of September. Well, if you try to extend past that, all of your vendors, a lot of your vendors who are Western hunters,
Yeah.
elk season starting. You're not going to get them to follow you anymore.
And in
It's
some
over.
areas, August antelope.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah,
believe.
so that's always it's the logistics
With
of that.
TAC, it's everybody has to grow for TAC to grow. Because even if TAC doubles their team and they have multiple, because right now they just go from event to event to event. With TAC, if you go where PA's going and another state's going at the same time, well, you have all these brands that are on the tour. So then those brands need to have teams in different, in multiple locations. The industry as a whole has to grow for TAC to grow at this point.
Yeah.
You just everybody has to bring on more people. It's totally possible and it will happen, but
Yeah, they'll figure ways
TAC's
out
going
to
to
do
keep
it.
growing, but everybody has to grow with TAC
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, they will. So taking a step back, getting back into you and what you do for a living
Little
besides
me.
besides the social media and talking about the devils, lizards, and all kind of
Yeah,
shit, whatever you call them, man.
Danger noodles,
Yeah.
Satan glizzies, yeah. All of them.
I listen to that shit. I'm like, what the hell did he say?
Most of the time, I don't even know what I said.
It's
I,
funny
just,
shit.
I hit record and just go.
Just
And
I
then
mean, while
black
we're on
out.
it, like, how the hell, dude? Like, where do you even come up with the name? You
It's-
literally just get
is
in
literally
there and you
ADHD.
just
Yes.
ADHD is the
Dead
Yeah.
ass. So I will hop in the truck and everybody's like, "Oh my god, you had to write a script and do all this." No, I will get out on a Saturday morning and I'll bring 3 shirts into my truck so nobody knows that I just ding 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 ding. It's going to look different and that's fine. But I'll hit record whatever the stitch is or duet or whatever it is. And the moment that timer hits 1, just say whatever it is. And you only have 6 seconds to say something or 8 seconds. If I cut myself off in the middle, don't give a shit, save, move on to the next one, and just keep going. So there are times where it's from doing the comedy tour and doing improv where if I'm thinking about, I did one today, I'll post it at some point, but I'm ranting and raving about questions that can't be answered that leads into NCIS and Gibbs getting the boat out from the bottom, right? But in the middle of that, I see my dog taking a shit and a leaf comes up and hits him in the butthole as he's pooping. So he barks, yells. I just immediately switched to that. And I'm like, here's another question. Why is it that your dogs don't know when to shit, but something jumps out at them and all of a sudden now it's a problem? It is literally just quick.
yeah.
It is whatever I can come up with, and it is generally
And that's why it's so funny because it's authentic. You're
Yeah.
not sitting there trying to be funny. It just
Right.
happens.
Yeah.
there's 4 videos total that I've ever done a script. And they were 3 minutes long and they covered something that was actually important.
Yeah.
They weren't motivated one way or the other, left or right, but it was one of those leave the kids out of this and let it happen. It is
Right.
what it is. Everything else, I was dropped as a child. Let's just, look, I'm just letting you know, Mom loved her. Not the best parent on the planet. So it's that stuff right there. It's all just whatever happens.
Just rolls with it.
And no
yeah.
different than this.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
something clicks in the back of the mind and you're just like, oh, yeah, by the way, look at the deer sucking itself off.
Yeah.
And everybody else that's not watching right now is going to be like, wait a minute, what? There's a deer and it's getting its tongue game in. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
That's all.
That's funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I've just gotten wrapped up into watching so many of them, and it's just it's comical. I mean, but I gotta wonder, where the hell does some of the content that you react to come from? Like,
People sending it.
really?
The amount of stuff that I cannot react to. Oh, my God.
That you want to so bad,
Oh,
probably.
dude. Well, it's getting to the point now because I've found an application that will remove the video off of TikTok, take the watermark off, and then I can post it somewhere else where they aren't as stringent. Cool. So now I'm doing that, and I'm going to put them over on IG. I'm going to see how long that works before somebody's like, hey, you're posting
do
some
that.
really bad stuff. And I'm going to be like, it's not really bad, but like, I didn't make the content. I'm just reacting to the content.
Right.
Don't blame me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's generally people that send it.
That's
And
crazy.
I also have a very long block list due to what people have sent.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, this is funny. I'm pretty sure that's illegal in at least 17 states. So you're going over into this pile.
Uh-huh.
But if there was, I wish they would just take everything where you have to be above 18. You have to not be a crybaby. You like
That's
Yeah.
the hardest part.
give me an app that you can just say what you want to say.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it happening anytime
Right.
soon. We have went so far backwards in that from here's your freedom of speech and here's everything else to you're not allowed to say that anymore. You're not allowed to show hunting videos.
Oh, dude, I've tried to put pictures of deer up, and they take it down
Immediately
right away.
down.
Yeah.
Immediately down. You can't do a stalk. You can't do a hunt. You can't do blood trails. You can't do any. And it's now to the point where it's fishing because it's animal cruelty.
Yeah.
No, it's not. So stop saying that it is. And then give me 30 seconds in the ring with whoever said that it was. Like, the hunters are getting to the point where just like, Bring back the '90s where you could punch somebody in the mouth. Like, please,
Yeah.
please
Can't
bring
reach
it
through
back.
the phone
we're
and do that
so
anymore.
we're so far gone from that, which is unfortunate. That
I don't think it's going to change.
no,
Yeah. Which
I really
is
don't.
why we hunt and fish and do what we do, because we don't have to be attached to that shit all the
Yeah.
time.
Turn off the phone.
hmm
You don't have to see it.
Yep, exactly.
You just have to shake as you're trying to get
Yeah.
on that deer.
That's what we've been watching videos and just telling her like we've been watching, the Respect the Game TV videos and stuff like that, and you get the adrenaline dumps after and,
Oh, yeah.
and all the videos, and I
Pump shit up.
keep telling her, I'm like, you wait. I was like,
it's
"You
so
just wait."
interesting to me. Just somebody like shaking uncontrollably who's done that 50 other times. It's nothing. It's not a new experience to them, and I'm interested to experience it.
I thought I was
myself.
going to be great coming from rifle and shotgun. But the moment that I got up there and you're sitting there and you're holding and you're like, people give you, if you're on their land or if you've got family that are like, hey, this first time, nothing over 20. So range it, figure out where your rock is. Is that 20
Yeah.
yards? Are they there? Great. So you're sitting there and it's at 27. It moves to 25. You draw back thinking it's coming in. It turns around. You're not going to let down. So now you're sitting there for 8 minutes just.
We
gosh.
we were watching. Larry McCoy was drawn back on this deer for
It was in a blind. I think it was
Easily.
Mississippi. I think.
easily 4 minutes. He was like, "Holy shit!
Yeah.
How
I
is he
saw
still
that one.
drawn back
Yeah.
right now?"
Yeah.
And that's all. Like I keep again an
I think
ego
that's
thing.
when he was with
Small
what's his name?
Town.
Small Town.
Yeah.
That
It's-
might have been Texas.
Okay.
Doesn't. But yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy he held that long.
But it's back to like an ego thing for me. Is I want to get my draw weight up just because
Mhm.
it's more of like I'm a girl and I don't want you to think I can't pull back a bow for a certain amount of weight. So I keep telling him I want to up my poundage. I want to up my poundage. And I watch Larry sit there for like 4 minutes and I'm like, maybe not.
You also drew back in your saddle too, and you're like, oh, this is a little bit.
Yeah, it's a
tougher.
little. It's all a learning curve for
Mhm.
me, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited about it.
But I am. Mike, we were downstairs and he was like, "Did you see the new mount?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." And he was like, "What are you gonna do if you see a deer like that when you're out hunting?" And I was like, "Shoot it." And he was like, "I like that answer."
I pray you're right because
I know, me too.
when you're there and it's there and everything, it's like noodling, right? You the first time you get bit, you're like, oh God.
Yeah.
You come back up out of the water.
Yeah.
Second time you get bit, same thing. You scream like a little girl. Hunting is the exact same. You just get that rush and you're
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
I found
goosebumpies.
for me when we got into filming, when we had the TV show before, I would put my focus on the cameras so that I wasn't focused on that animal,
Mhm.
and that would take that buck fever away for me.
Yeah.
Now, once the shot was over,
Yeah, you
I'm
got that-
done. Like
yeah.
I got to sit down or I'm falling out of the tree.
Yeah.
But I was happy about that because I didn't want it to happen before the shot. Like I
Yeah.
will look at an animal or a deer now and say, "Yep, he's a shooter. Time to get the cameras ready, get the bow going." And I do not look at that rack anymore.
I think my thing is going to be because I'm such a perfectionist is just I'm going to want to overanalyze what my shot's going to be.
Yeah,
And then
see
obviously
it
you have
already.
an animal
what I do.
moving, so then it's going to mess that up. That's going to be my problem is I'm going to play it in my mind exactly how I think it's going
Mhm.
to play out as far as me taking my shot. Even when we were practicing in the yard, like I'm familiar with my background, I'm familiar with animal anatomy, so in my head, I'm shooting where I would be doing CPR on an animal because I know that's where the vitals are. And he's like, nope, that's not where you should be shooting. And I'm like, well, why? If I and I'm like
Right.
Yeah.
debating with him, like, and he's like, and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like,
You
so
know,
I'm going to be hell bent on my shot placement. And that's where I'm going to think I'm going to overanalyze things.
so something that I'm sure it would help you. It helped me. It'd probably help a lot of people. Delta McKenzie, which is now owned by Big Shot Archery, just came out with this new target, and it's linked
I
obviously
just
to your
saw this.
phone. That
I just scrolled
but
past
this
it.
is pretty cool. And my rep reached out to me yesterday, so I'm considering getting some of these in. But in a nutshell, what it is, it's a 3D deer target. I think I had an elk or whatever. But the one I looked at, it was a 3D deer target, and Lancaster Archery was doing a review on it. There's this little chip that's attached to it, and you attach your phone screen to the deer, And let's just say you want to just look at just the heart of that deer. You can pull it up on your phone. The heart will show up from that there on your phone. And as you walk 360 around that target using your phone, it shows you where that heart is at. So let's just say you're 25 yards back and you think, all right, I should be shooting right at this spot to hit that deer in the heart. So you shoot where you think you should hit at, and then you walk up to your arrow, and then you bring that phone up and you bring the heart up, and now you can walk 360 around there and see, was that really where you should have hit or not? I mean, it's insane the technology now that they're putting into the archery targets. It's really cool because, and where that becomes helpful is somebody who's new that doesn't really know where to shoot at an animal, or those of us who thought, we put a good shot on an animal and come to find out, like, shit, we really didn't.
Yeah.
That was a terrible option. We shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
And then also on the other side of that is, maybe you're more reserved and you won't take a shot because you're like, there's no way it's going to hit where I need it to.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you take a step back and you look at it and like, I guess that really would hit where I need to. So it's pretty cool. I don't even know what it's called. I don't know if you do. Ken,
I don't
but,
remember. I've watched a couple videos on it, kind of the ones that you were talking. I don't remember the name of it.
I just know it was Delta McKenzie. You know what? It might even be on my phone.
You're on airplane mode, so I don't know.
airplane mode.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So
He'll make another phone call if he gets off of it.
I know. His phone
Oh,
will
here
start
it is
ringing.
right here. It's by Delta. Crap. I guess this is just the pictures, but here just to show you. I mean, it shows you on your phone screen the whole anatomy of the animal, whatever.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
Oh,
and
that's
you
in
can
depth.
so you can actually put the bone structure and everything in there, or you can remove individually the bones, the lungs, the heart, anything you want. So like that deer target you have at home, if it was one of theirs and had that app on her, you could 360 walk that thing and know, yeah, that was a good shot, or no, that shot sucked.
The whole reason it's there, talking about the backdrop being brick, is because I will always hit a target now. Foam is home, right?
Right.
But the bigger issue is now getting from hitting the target. Now I'm walking it in. So that would actually work because the further and further that I get back at my house, I may be hitting foam, but I may be 6 inches left or 2 inches to the right or whatever it is.
Right.
And then you're just guesstimating because you see those faded out rings on there and you're like, liver, heart, lungs.
It's definitely a cool concept. I know when I went on my bear hunt, before I went, I'd never shot at a bear. Hell, I seen one in the zoo. That was it.
Yeah.
And if I'd have shot that one, I'd have been in jail. But, so
I would imagine you wouldn't have gotten a bow into the zoo.
probably
so that's
not.
A whole different.
Maybe
I don't know.
might have pulled it off.
I don't
but,
know if anybody's tried it.
to this point, I don't think. But I had to watch videos on shot placement because I didn't know. And then when you get up there and you're so used to shooting,
Deer.
I like to shoot deer and I like to shoot them in the heart, which means I'm shooting lower than what most people will, I guess. You don't want to do that on a bear.
No.
That is the wrong spot to go. You want to go basically from that leg. You go up center mass over about 7 inches, and boom, that's where you're going. And when I did that, I got lucky. I shot a nice bear up there, took his heart out. I would have never thought that's where his heart was. It just didn't make sense to me anatomy-wise. That's where it was, but it was there. So
Well, like you said, you're hunting deer all your life, and you go to hunt that. It's
it's
the
completely different.
anatomy
So-
set up different.
So that programming I think is going to be really cool.
I think
and
that'll
have
be
to get
good too.
some of them in.
And again, along the lines of the new hunters, is you'll be able to see, oh, this is a bad angle,
Yeah, right.
so
yeah,
I
that's
should
what-
never take
exactly.
this shot.
Yep. Yeah,
So-
and you're going to have those boneheads that are going to take a shot regardless because they think they can push through anything with an arrow.
Right.
That you have that. But,
Yeah.
I think that's going to be cool. But I guess the other side of what you do, which is probably your true passion, and I've watched, or I guess I should say watch because I wasn't there with you, but looked,
Right.
wrong choice of words, looked at your content is the photography end of it, of what you do. That's some really cool stuff. And you can see the passion in your photos from what I've seen there. Let's talk about that a little bit. Like that's your passion there.
So now, I say now, Beginning, it was automotive photography. I worked for a company that sold cars. I mean, so it's a no-brainer. You need to put it out there. I remember it started with, being a kid, you would get the old $5 disposable cameras. Now they're $40, but it is what it is because it's nostalgia and old and whatever.
Right.
But got into that and then started doing conservation, so wildlife. And the thought process was, I liked animals. I liked going out. I liked hunting. I liked all this other stuff. You see National Geographic and you're like, I want that, right? I don't want to be in a cage with a polar bear, but I do want to be out where the polar bear is.
Right.
So it got there, and then I got a call one day from a friend that said, hey, we just got married. Husband and I are wanting to do a boudoir session. And I said, okay, cool. What is boudoir? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll shoot anything. I don't care. Just tell me what it is. She said, just show up to the house. I said, all right, cool. So I get there and then learn what boudoir is, and it's empowering photos of a woman that does not feel confident about herself. And it elevated from there and just grew. We've done women's retreats. I've been exhibited in 14 different countries in 15 different art galleries. And it's one of those things that progressively you will find that society lies to everybody. It does not matter what facet of the world you live in. It doesn't matter whether it's hunting, fishing, automotive, women, doesn't matter. Everybody is better than you, and you will never be able to achieve that, which is bullshit. Like, it doesn't matter. If you tell me that I can't outshoot somebody, I'm going to practice for the next 6 months until I can outshoot that person. If society says that a woman can't be pretty without $1,700 worth of Sephora and foundation and everything else, give me 20 minutes in a camera and take all your makeup off. We'll prove them wrong. Photography is a capture of a moment. I look at it as, how are you going to be remembered whenever you're gone? I'm not going to go deep into this conversation, but the concept behind it is, what change in life or other people's lives are you going to do before you're no longer here? Photography allows me to capture a moment, and if it goes to a gala or a gallery or it gets put out there, that will be there forever. And the picture of that person who was not a supermodel, who was not, Victoria's Secret, was not any of this other stuff, they are now immortalized.
Right.
So I look at photography as something, it's immortal.
Yeah.
You can never take it away. Let's say that we go on a hunting trip 5 years from now, and instead of hunting, I bring the camera. And all of a sudden you get your PR, and we do, a picture where the arrow is coming out of the bow. You get wisp of rain coming off of it, and it's just before impact. So you see the trail. You see you still holding. That could be up on the wall.
Right.
That could be something that it's now in the background of a podcast. Photography is it's more than a passion. It is the high, and you're always chasing it.
That's the same thing Ryan, Ryan and Larry and them talk about, with respect to game.
Right.
Larry had said that there's been times he would tell Ryan, hey, bring your bow because I just need to look at something on it or whatever. And then Larry would intentionally not bring his bow because he had to force Ryan to hunt because Ryan wants to be behind the lens. And that seems to be the thing with, guys who are that passionate about a camera.
It's insane.
Right.
Well, and you spoke on it earlier about, if there was another archery shop at the end of your driveway. The concept, we teach people on a live podcast every Friday. There is no competition. You should never have competition. You should be so cocky and confident in your own ability that there's nobody on this planet that will touch me. Whether that's true or not, it's the mentality first.
Right.
It's no different than hunting. It's no different than if I'm going to build a car. I need to know in my heart of hearts that there's no way I'm going to screw this up. I am the best because there has to be somebody that's the best.
Right.
Am I the best? No. I can name 5 other people that I looked up to and I still look up to now who far exceed me. But by God, day in, day out, I'm getting closer. And I am getting close to being on par with them.
Yeah, and that's a thing that you want to do. I remember even like with your sister at running track back in high school. You look at, or just take any sport in general. You don't want to play with the ones that are equally as good as
No.
you, or worse than you per se. Because why do you want to make yourself look better than them?
Right.
And why do you want to stay status quo with where you're at? You want the ones. Like I would tell your sister all the time, hey, if you know that girl's faster than you, let her drag you around the track. Let her drag you. Stay on her heels. Okay, she's going to beat you. You know that. Get over it. Stay on her heels because it's going to make you better. And that's what you have to do.
Well, that's the big, I feel like, divide in society nowadays is the people that want to be up against the best because they thrive for that. And then the people that want to be grouped in with people they know they're better than just because they're comfortable
Well,
there.
that's
you want to be uncomfortable enough to be constantly getting better.
Yeah, those are the
Correct.
must be nice people.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I get it all the time. I understand. Wow, must be nice for you to travel all the time. Must be nice to have all those followers. Dude, quit your job. Quit your job and try it full time. Take a full leap.
Yep.
Not know where your next paycheck's going to come and throw away a 15-year-long career.
Yeah.
Just to see if you can make it. And then, yeah, it is pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It puts you in places like this.
Yeah. You
While you're
grind.
sitting at the house listening. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way, but get off your ass and do something.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to grind.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, having the shop that I have, I still work a full time job for U.S. Steel. I've been there just over 30 years in May. And when I took his shop on, I knew it was going to be more work. But could I be out doing something else or doing nothing? Sure.
Right.
But I want to grind it out because
Oh, yeah.
it's what I want to do.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
the
everybody involved in
passion's
the
there.
shop has a full-time job.
Yeah.
Even with the podcast, we'll talk to people and they're like, "Oh, isn't it like a lot to try to work full-time and do the podcast? And maybe you guys should,
Yeah.
take a break from it. It might be too much." And it's like, but we enjoy doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
You
when
know?
the passion's there.
I don't mind going home and sitting down in front of the computer for another 4 hours editing an
Yeah.
episode.
And
You know?
I understand that.
You yeah.
Unequivocally, yes.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that I've seen guys that have sat here and busted it for 3 to 4 to 5 years doing something else that, this pays the bills. And then they got their break. And there's the thing is you're doing this with the hope and prayer that, maybe someday somebody's going to see it that gives me another opportunity. I call them micro wins. We've talked about
Oh,
that
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Okay, so you and I have talked and we've done this, and now I'm on a podcast. That's a win.
Mhm.
That's a win.
Right.
The next win, don't know what it is, but we're going to keep moving until we get there. Now that's another win. By the end of it, what we want is micro, 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 macro. We want a big one, which is fine. And it's there because we are already on the path and none of us have our brakes on. We're all running full speed ahead. It doesn't matter what you do. Just get off your ass and do
Yeah,
it.
you got to grind it out. It's
Yeah.
not, unless you were born into money, You, the one
Even
thing,
then,
dude,
Yeah.
the one
money
thing,
goes away.
if you look,
Yep.
if you look at a lot of people that are successful, they grinded it out.
Mhm.
I'll tell you one guy that, and I've listened to multiple podcasts about him, is the ex-owner of Jimmy John's sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's who came to mind immediately when you were
Yep.
talking about it. 'cause
You want to
we-
talk about, like, listen to a podcast that talks about that dude, like how he got started. Like, I mean, I won't get into the whole thing, but like he was the kid that no one really cared for.
Mhm.
The old man was like, you're either going to the military or you're getting a job, you're going to do something. And he's like, well, I'm going to start a hot dog stand, and found out I don't have enough money to do that. The old man wasn't going to give him the money. He was loaning it to him, and then realized I can start a sandwich shop.
Mhm.
And then busted his ass, sitting there smelling like freaking salami and everything else for 17,
Yep.
18 hours a
Yeah.
day, to open one store in Illinois, then to move on to start a second one and to do that. While the must be nice people are sitting at home
Sat and
watching
watched.
TV or
Yep.
doing nothing. There's a guy there who is now a billionaire,
Mhm.
started out with money that his dad loaned him, and whenever he had enough money to pay his back, he was like, oh, don't forget you owe me interest too. It wasn't like,
Right.
don't worry about it, son, keep the money. No, it was like, okay, this is the way it's going to be. But he had to work. And I think people always say, well, you appreciate it more. You're damn right you will. And anybody has opportunity, and maybe not everybody. We understand there's some people out there in life that maybe, whether it be a disability or something, maybe there's certain things you don't have an opportunity to do. But for the most part, most people can be whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
You just got to want to do
You
it.
have to want it and you have to prioritize it.
Yep.
Just, if you want to go on a hunt, to Alaska, it's a lot of money, but maybe don't go to Starbucks 5
Well,
times a week. And
like
you
Nick
can
Munt
stay-
said, when we sat down with Nick Munt and we're talking, and he said about, along the same lines. Well, the guy saying, well, I can't afford to go on that hunt. Well, yeah, but you got a $115,000 lifted pickup truck
Yeah,
sitting there.
you
Yeah.
can afford. Buddy.
You
Yeah.
can figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you
it's
absolutely
priorities.
can.
Like, what do you want?
Right.
The generation that we live, and I'll say my generation, has been raised by people that are friendly parents. They want to be your friend, and that's fine. I didn't grow up in that. I grew up with my grandparents, and Grandpa's mentality, and he had heard the quote from somebody else, was work until you never have to introduce yourself again. The moment you walk through the door and somebody's just like, holy shit, that's that guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I am that guy for a reason. And you just keep working. His other thing was don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Oh,
Make
yeah.
all the mistakes
That's
in
how
the
you
world that you
learn.
want to. Just don't repeat them.
Absolutely.
It's not a
Absolutely.
problem. It's not hard, but nobody wants to grind anymore. Or it's few and far between.
Yeah.
And generally you can tell whenever you meet the people and you're just like, okay. I mean, I'm still going to watch you, but
Yeah.
good on you.
Yep. Yeah, you got to grind it out. I've had people say, well, what do you do when you make a mistake? I said, it's called a clearance table, and I don't like it. But you
It's
just
there.
don't keep doing it.
Yeah.
Whatever that is in life, you just keep rolling with it.
So,
So
speaking about grinding out, how much traveling have you? What's your average travel during a year? So how much do you like the traveling? And
I was in 162 cities year before last.
wow,
This year, I just got back from San Antonio. We've already went down to Myrtle. July, I'll be back in North Carolina, then South Carolina. August, I'll be going to Canada. From there, I'll be back. I'll go to Rochester, then Syracuse, back to PA. From PA, I'll go to, depends. October, I'm going back to Vegas. Vegas back to here back to Dallas. You got me doing this off memory.
It's impressive.
I'm picturing an airplane on the
Dude,
United
that's,
States.
no, that's literally. I have so in my office, I have computer, MacBook, iPad, and then phone is usually right here. So I'll be doing everything, and then above is a 4x3 map of the U.S. with little red lines going back and forth. Of okay, here's the arrow. I'm going here, then I'm going here, then I'm going here. Now, if somebody drops out, that screws the whole thing up. So after Vegas, I'll be back to here and then back to Texas. And then I don't have anything booked past that because I just don't want to. So
that's
Yeah.
hunting season, man.
Yeah.
there's the thing.
Yeah.
I've got to leave X amount open. And then November, I generally take off. And December, I'll go back to Oklahoma for almost the entire month.
Okay.
Go visit family.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
then
So-
start it all over again.
So your family mostly is still down south.
Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, and then Colorado. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It's annoying.
Yeah.
And we have a big family. I've got 6 sisters. Each one of them have 4 kids, plus the husbands, plus the cousins. All have 4 kids, with the exception of one who has 9.
Oh,
So imagine getting, and that's just immediate. That's not including their cousins and their sisters.
Seconds and stuff.
dude.
Yeah.
I think the most we've ever had was 95 at one location.
that sounds like his
Wow.
family.
Dude,
He's
it's
got
insane.
a massive family.
We couldn't fit any more people, and there were more people that just didn't show up. So we're just like, God, man, I don't even like half of y'all. I don't even know half
I've
of
been
y'all.
with him for years, and we'll go to a bigger family
Mm-hmm.
function. And he's like, "Oh, you've met Megan before," and we're kind of looking at each other like, "Have we?"
Mm-hmm.
it's
Like one of them bigger.
sideways tap on the shoulder. Who was that?
I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Excuse me.
Yep.
I'm still meeting people, and his family, they're like, "You'll get used to it. You'll be meeting people forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always going to be somebody you don't know." And then our family, we're just like, It's just us.
Oh, I get people ask me, "Hey, you related to?" Nope, don't know.
We were at his nephew's high school graduation a couple years ago, and we're standing there, and they announced somebody, and they with the same last name as me, and they all turned and looked at me, and I was like,
Yeah, we did.
I don't know. Who
I
that
remember
is.
that.
No clue.
Everybody looked at her. I was like, well, it's not a normal name, so
Yeah, like it's not like our last name is Smith, so
Yeah.
they announced the last name, and the whole row just turns and looks at me, and I'm like,
I've only ever
I have
heard
no-
one person with mine, and it was one of those that you're like in a Walmart area, and we both just turn like because every one of the
the
Bunings,
Western music starts
Yeah.
playing, like it's
every
like-
person is related with this last name. It is the craziest thing. I deep dived into it, and I think there's 114 in the United States. We are all related somehow,
wow.
either third cousin twice removed, sister's brother, aunt was a mom at some. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you're just sitting there going, who you belong to?
Yeah.
And then the Southern really comes out. Who your mama is? Let me talk to him for a minute. Let me holler at you. Boy.
Oh, man.
Odd last names are cool, though. Because
Yeah.
you're just like,
that's
your
how I
family?
feel like our
Mhm.
family is like we sometimes tend to just be like, yeah, we're probably related, but I don't know who that is. But
yeah.
our name sticks out enough. I had when I lived in South Carolina, I worked for the military, and I had a retired Marine that was like, he was so just drawn to the fact that our last name is it's not anything crazy, but it is different. And he was just like, I'm pretty sure there's a city in Italy that's actually called that. He would like bring me books about my last name, and I'm like, dude, I don't
Whoa.
know, like. But he was just, like, he was more interested in my like genealogy than I was, and I was like, man, I need to figure this out because maybe we are something special here.
Don't let him around your sister, because when she started that shit about family trees and let's do, I'm like, listen, I don't want to know if I'm related to somebody. Just
'Cause
stop
I come
that.
home-
I said you might have brothers or sisters you don't want to know about.
You might be a knight or a sir. You never know.
I'd
Let's
go to
figure
like
it
a basketball game, and I'd wear my hoodie, and somebody would tap on my shoulder, are you related to so and so? And I'd come home, I'm like, Dad, are we related to so and so? And he's like, no.
Don't think so.
I'm like, are you sure about that? You paused. But
Oh man.
It's a problem because all of my sisters are half sisters. So there is a really good chance
Yeah.
that when I meet somebody, I'm just like, do you know my daddy?
Yeah.
Are you aware? Does your mom know my daddy? He's not a nice man. He is. He's great. No, he's not. Whatever. 6 sisters, Dad. You could have gave me a brother. Rude.
that's him over there wishing he had a son at some
3
point.
girls. No, well, 2 grandsons now, so
Yeah.
we're getting there.
Raise them
Took us a
right.
little while. Yep.
Raise them
Absolutely.
right.
We're that's the one thing that we've always been family oriented. Jace, we take him golfing with us, and
Comes down here to shoot his bow at the
Yeah.
dinosaur.
yeah, he loves shooting his bow. Got him started at age 2 shooting his bow,
Mhm.
so he's into it. And we'll do the same with the other ones.
Pretty soon he'll be ripping around on a upgo bike too.
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
God bless us when he's on wheels.
So speaking of that, how's that going? For
Yeah.
Oh,
ya?
dude, it's awesome. It is so annoyingly fun, and it's great. So, like, talk about products, right? So, 4 to 6 hours charge time, great, awesome. 75-mile range, also great, because I put 24 miles on it, and I was still above 75%. Now, the one thing I have not done is put extra poundage on it to see, but I'm going to the farm, and I'm going to put it through the ringer. Because I've put it on pavement and put it through the ringer.
Right.
It is quick. It is nimble. It is also great because if you have to get off the road because a car may or may not be coming towards you, not paying attention because they're texting and driving, you can just go into somebody's yard and not leave divots. It's awesome. It's lightweight. It's great. The lights work. The bell works. All of it. Just the bells and whistles are amazing. And now I'm angry because I'm like, well, the old lady wants to get on top of it and drive it around. But that means that I have to sit. So either A, I have to get a different one, or B, I have to modify my lawnmower so it goes faster, and then I can just change after her, and it all works. The bike itself has all these great things. I am just tall enough to be on it. Let's start there, right? If I put the bag on the back, which
Yeah.
when I'm going to have a call with him at some point, I'm going to be like, yo, can you make the bag just a little bit smaller? Because if I put the bag on the back, it raises the back end by like 2 inches. And then my little legs can't get over the top of it. So now I'm almost falling, and I can't do that in my neighborhood. I'm not going to be embarrassed like that. No, the guy across the street already has a Harley, and he thinks, well, is that an e-bike? And I'm like, I mean, it's a motorcycle, and it has a battery. And he's like, you want to race? No,
I don't.
No,
wanna race.
'cause I will lose.
I don't want to. No.
the bike is great, man. It's insane.
Yeah.
You guys you made a good call pulling these in.
Yeah, those were they're pretty cool. You know, meeting up with those guys, Greg Wilson and the rest of his crew up at Total Archery Challenge. Oh, you know, just watching them take those things up the lifts, I was like, dude, this is an awesome hunting vehicle. Like
Oh.
anybody that's
Well, when
looking
they
to
were
get into
doing,
something,
we
it's-
stopped just jokingly when they were doing the truck shoot, and he was like, "Do you guys like? Did you get it? Like, oh, you should use it to go up and get the arrows." And they're like, "We
He's
are."
like, I did. He's like, we are. I
yeah,
was like,
straight
"What?"
up the freaking
And
hill.
They were like, "We
was like,
got it
"Up
all
the
the way
ski
up
slope."
to like that first like landing with the trees," and we're like, "No way." They're like, "Yeah, we made it past that before we had to start like weaving, like where
Yeah.
it got really steep." And I'm like,
That's what impressed
wow.
me because I've sold other brands e-bikes here at the
Right.
shop, but I've never. There's not one out there that I've seen that's going to compete with this one when it comes to the
Uphill.
hill climbing
Oh.
capacity, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, then when you add in the regenerative braking that it recharges itself.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's crazy.
I want to get on one just to see what it's like.
You
Oh,
start-
you're gonna love it.
You get 20 foot up a hill with, you know, other brand e-bikes or certain other brand e-bikes, and they're just like, nope. And you're done.
Yeah.
This one's like 2-wheel drive,
Mm-hmm.
both wheels turning, both wheels spinning,
Mhm.
rooster tailing up a halfway up a ski slope in 7 springs. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Did
And
that
look-
just happen?
Looking at the one that the TAC has had, it is worn.
Yeah.
They have
They are well
Yeah.
used.
putting it through the ringer,
Yeah.
and it's still. Talking to the guy, he's just like, so here's the deal: starts up, does everything I could ever ask for it to do, and it has not stopped. And no, I will not get off of it. And I'm
He
like,
does not.
can I ride it? He's like, no, you can't ride this. Fine, I'll go ride another one. I don't
Yeah. Yeah. Could be
Rude.
like that.
Yeah.
Rude.
Mhm.
I'll bring my own next year.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
he came
they-
up to me at the tent. He was like, dude, you got to come down and see these Upco bikes.
It's
Well, I
And
did the
we
same
walked
thing to
down.
him.
Yeah.
so many options too.
Knobbies.
Oh, dude. Full knobbies. Full knobby. And attachments, man. The fact that you can put a gun or a bow, or you can put a saddlebag on the back, or you can put the rack on the back and have a cooler with you. Imagine it's not even just having one. You get the boys at the hunting camp. All of y'all show up with your guns, your bows, everything else that is going to be set there, and you'll go hunt the next time, whatever. But y'all show up with these in the back of your truck. One guy needs to bring ramps. You have all your attachments, and that just sits at your hunting lease where you guys can get up in the morning and just quietly make your way all the way to the other end. Don't buy a mule, a tracker. Don't buy a Ranger. Don't buy any of the stuff that cranks up a motor
Yeah.
because you're going to scare everything the hell away.
Right.
This is quiet.
Yeah. It's insanely quiet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No.
Sneak up on a dog,
And
they
you've
get real
got-
mad.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they do. I'm not lying. It's bad.
Like the Leaf did to your dog taking a crap in the
Dude,
yard.
I'm telling you right now. I've got a video of it. I'll show you after all this. He's literally sitting there and he does the little turn thing, and it's a leaf that's just tickling the back end. He ain't got no sack, so like, it is what it is. Yeah.
But you're not laying ground scent.
Nope.
'Cause your feet ain't touching the ground. And them deer, like even in Illinois, they look up at you in the mornings,
Oh, they don't care.
eating in the field, look right back down. Done.
It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, it's a really awesome tool. I'm glad we got them in down here at the shop.
You're not sweating up.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Paul's gracious enough to put it to the test for us. And
Yeah.
let
Oh,
us
I'm
know
putting
what
it
he
through the
thinks.
ringer.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then,
He was telling me some stories of stuff he's been doing in parking lots and everything.
Oh,
also,
dude. I got down low. I put on knee pads, everything, brought it on down. It runs like a dirt bike. Like it is as nimble as a dirt bike. It has quick get up and go. Now, obviously, the one that we have goes up to 30, or 25, 30.
Yeah,
And
30.
then it will pick up. It will go. You can go in between the light poles. You can swerve. I ran it like a regular motorcycle course would do if you're a first-time learner. And you're going to almost tip it. You're going to bring it back up. You give it power as it's coming down, it will rip and get.
Yeah.
I mean, just let the damn thing eat, and it will go wherever you want it to.
Yeah, with that front wheel and rear wheel drive
Mhm,
at the same time, that's pretty
And
awesome.
because the battery's down low, your center of gravity is real low. As you're driving this thing, if you put it down towards the ground and you give it will just right itself.
Yeah.
It is annoying how fun this thing is. Because on a let's be honest, the video that we did, I wrecked the last 2 bikes I was ever on. One almost killed me. This, if they had been like that, I would have been fine.
Right.
I would have been fine. I wasn't fine, but I would have been.
yeah. Key
Oh,
word
man.
in that sentence.
Yep. Yeah.
Would have been fun.
So what do you got on the horizons this year as far as you got any hunts going on, or you got any plans for I guess maybe any trail cameras out now, any big bucks you're looking into, or
We've got some on the property up there. They've got trail cameras wherever they decide to put them, which changes. The family members that are up there are all well-versed hunters. They have some insane stories. They have the entire inside of the hunting lodge is head to toe with turkey and deer, all the way around from years back till now. To the point that they've had to build additions and more additions onto this thing.
For taxidermy.
Exactly.
Rightfully so.
So they have all their stuff out, and since it's not my land, it is one of those that they put me wherever they think I should go, which I haven't figured out whether it's where the deer will be or won't be yet. But I'm starting to get onto them, right? Because I'll hear the gunshots, or I'll get the text message that's, oh, just got one, and they're on the other side. So I'm like, okay, you bastards. But it's also one of those where I have told them that I want it to be a learning curve. I want to use calls. I want to rattle. I want to figure out for myself, because as much as I appreciate your knowledge, screw you. I want to learn it myself.
yeah, right.
So I'm going to try and do deer, obviously. I did see a bunch of coyotes out there last year. So here's my thing. I've got to figure out what legality issues, or if there are any. I don't know if there's a hunting season on yotes up here. Oklahoma, you just shoot them.
Yeah, up here you shoot them at
It's-
night. I
okay.
mean, I think there's seasons.
Yeah,
It's
there's
kinda-
certain parameters around certain rifle seasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I may not be
but it's pretty
100% on that. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the guy that you can talk to about coyote hunting.
Okay.
He does some sick stuff with coyote hunting. Like
I'm good with it.
I mean, at nighttime with the thermals, the video footage he puts out, and he usually kills about 100 or so a year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Okay.
You know, I'll hook you up with him. Talk to him.
I want to do turkey at some point, but never going turkey hunting. I've got to figure out how to do it, and that's either YouTube videos or whatever it is. And then I got to figure out what broadheads I'm going to use, or whether I'm going with a gun. There's just
yeah,
I'll give you a broadhead that you definitely would want to run because of the interest,
Big O.
the decap.
take your head right off.
And there's the biggest thing is moving up here. It's only been in the last 2-3 years that I've gotten into hunting again, but now it's in a new state. So now I'm like, I don't know, what can I shoot? Y'all got bears up here. Apparently you got bobcats. You've got another cat, mountain lion. Apparently there's
Yes, there
It'd
are.
be one of those Versace something.
I'm telling you right now, danger floofs right there. They're dangerous on every.
Danger
You think it's funny, but if there's a mountain lion out there, I'm gonna be
they're
honest. I don't care. I'm gonna wear brown pants. I can tell you that
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be leaving a scent trail
Oh, for
somewhere. Because if I can see it, there's a problem.
Uh-huh.
Worse is if I don't see the damn thing, but I hear the rustle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to hunt everything.
Right.
So I would like to be able to plan stuff, but with my schedule, I'm lucky to get one weekend
Right.
a year.
Yeah.
And that's maybe a Friday and a Saturday. And it's kind of one of those things that my schedule plus the people that own the land schedule, and it's a respect thing. I'm not going to go out there without them. If they gave me the option, okay, I'd go out with a bow. I would probably want to do it with the rifle. But yeah, I want to shoot everything.
Yeah.
I want to fish everything. I want to hunt everything. I wouldn't mind getting into trapping.
Yeah.
It's fun. Life is short. I want to do everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob Warwick that was downstairs, that's your guy for trapping. He loves it. He's
we were
big
talking
into
earlier about it.
Oh, yeah.
He's big into the trapping.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind getting into it. I wouldn't mind just learn something new.
Right.
That's all I care about.
Imagine the content you could get out of you trapping.
Oh man.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
I am aware.
I've already caught a raccoon in my backyard. I just can't post the video because the raccoon and I did not see eye to eye. Okay. Listen, I want to pet him. He wants to fight me. And he's about my size, so it's an issue. I'm telling you right now. They do like pizza though. Little Caesars garlic
Little
crust.
Caesar's garlic crust.
Telling you right now,
Cool.
man. You want to catch a raccoon? Little Caesars. That's the way to do it.
Pizza.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
Imagine what you could do with some crazy bread.
I know, right? I might catch more than one.
You might.
Mhm. Going in there together.
Well, it's your sister's house. I think we caught.
I
like,
was gonna
Chuck caught,
say.
not me, but Chuck caught. I think 11 in like 4 days. I mean, it was
Holy,
insane.
they're so cute but so mean. I hate it.
You know what? It's so funny we're talking because when I left for work this morning, there was 3 babies fighting in the neighbor's driveway. 3 raccoon
shit.
babies.
Really?
Yeah, they were just.
If you steal one of them, you could domesticate it.
Oh, that would be cool.
There's a lot of weird laws around
You
the
could have it up here. It'd be
in
just-
Pennsylvania,
you
there's
get-
a lot of weird laws around domesticating raccoons. So get
Man,
right
can I
with
talk
your
to y'all about
legalities.
this state makes me so mad
It's a
sometimes.
What they
weird
don't know
state.
won't hurt them.
Well,
This
it's,
is true. I know. Trust me, I know plenty of people that are rescuing them, and
it's like noodling, right? It's a staple in the South. I get up here and I find out it's illegal. Not even like gaff hook, which okay, I understand. Don't shove something with a hook into a hole to try and pull out the fish. That's not noodling. But you just flat out can't noodle in this state. You can't put your hand in a hole underneath the water to catch a fish.
Really? See, I
Can't.
didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I'm sitting there talking to the game commission. I talked to him the first year that I was up here, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm super excited. I'm going to go noodling." And he's like, "Where?" And I went, "I don't like how you said that." What do you mean where? And he's like, "Where are you going to go? Because we'd love to, come
Watch.
talk to you." I'm like, "Never mind. Am I not allowed to do that?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, all right, well, screw this state. You and your stupid cold weather and no noodling. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing up here half the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what to hunt. I don't know. I mean, I know where to hunt for 3 specific items. Everything else, you just tell me where to go. And tell me that I won't get in trouble for it. And be telling the truth. Because if you're lying,
Then we got a problem.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
dude, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I know what I want
every
to do.
Yeah. So depending on what you want to do, I'm quite sure that we have somebody that comes in the shop that can
yeah,
direct
point you
you
in the right direction.
Absolutely.
We'll
Or-
get it figured out.
Yeah, somebody that works here that does it.
Yeah. And then I'll get into trapping.
Yeah.
If you see a video of a squirrel whooping my ass, y'all just mind your own business, okay? I'm not gonna do this.
Somehow trap a ferret and be like your worst
Dude.
nightmare.
Yes, God, they're so quick. And the problem is they're worse than raccoons. They can squeeze their body into a hole about yay big. And I don't know if you know this, on an average fart, your butthole gets about
Yeah.
yay big.
Yeah.
So I don't want a ferret anywhere near me.
No.
I'm gonna shit my pants, and that thing's gonna try and crawl on my leg. I don't
Yeah.
like them. I don't like them. I'm sorry.
Uh-uh.
They're furry snakes, is all they are.
And this is true.
Furry
They
snake.
are.
Y'all laugh. Wait until it happens.
Dude, I was cracking up that video you have of that one that got thrown into the macaroni.
Oh God, dude! And everybody's talking about how cute this thing is. It's got little pirate coins all throughout it. Man, he gets thrown into that thing, but one of them he popped out, and he had like red on his face. It looked like blood. And I was like, oh my God, what did he get in there?
Yeah.
Like, what is he attacking? And you can't fight them because their body's a slinky. So if
Yeah.
you throw them, they just hook on.
Uh-huh. They can bend around and
I
grab
don't
you
like
from the
it,
other
dude.
side.
Everybody else is like, oh, a snake and a bear and a mountain lion and a alligator. It's the small ones that'll get you.
Mm-hmm.
Ferrets. I mean, I'm not. We just killed mice whenever we were growing up because you don't want them anywhere near
Right.
you. So we'd use little 22 subsonic,
Mm-hmm.
shoot it. and-
That's what I just did to a groundhog in our.
Do
in our
y'all
shed,
have a
in
bunch
our
of them up
shed.
here?
Groundhogs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
Certain
have
places,
we
yeah.
have a spot in Kansas called Groundhog Mile, and it is a square mile that they have taken over, and you can't plow it, you can't farm it, you can't do nothing. What you can do is park on the side of the road right next to the game commission and shoot it with a 17 HMR, and nobody gets mad. So it's just
Okay.
whack-a-mole with a dude. I'm telling you right now, you'll just watch. And they go over and they'll get into the cattle farms and they'll get into the horse farms and then it just got to the point where so many horses were breaking their legs and people were
Yeah.
putting down their
Yeah.
animals.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, they're invasive. Just
Yeah.
we need them
Go.
gone.
Yeah.
But they procreate like nobody's business. They
Oh, yeah.
reproduce insane.
I'm walking through the yard with my 22, and she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Shooting a groundhog in the shed."
Protecting my property.
Then,
is
he,
what
comes,
I'm
then he comes
doing.
back up. He goes, "Man, it looks like a murder scene
It
down
does.
there."
It really
Gotta
did.
love it. Gotta love
My
it.
stack of lumber back there is all shaded now. It's pre-stained.
It's pre-stained.
Yeah.
Oh God.
See, if you'd let me get a pointer, the pointers love to
Well,
fuck
bear.
up some
I want to
groundhogs.
see. I want to see Bear go after something. We have a Great Pyrenees, and I tell her
Oh,
all the
dear
time, like,
God.
I want to see Bear square up against either a coyote or a wolf. I just want to see it. I want to see it.
God bless anything that ever does make it into our fence because she is.
We've
full.
had
It's in their
livestock
breed.
dogs, and
Yeah.
it is when you watch them run out into the darkness and you hear whatever's going on, and all of them make it back, but they are completely matted in blood, and you go, "Come on, you're getting steaks. Let's go."
Yep.
And you just raw food
They
feed
have
them.
no fear.
None.
No fear at all.
None. And,
And
they're
they're-
massive dogs.
They're huge and they're the sweetest things
Mhm.
ever. Our friends own a farm and they have 3 of them that are like our Great Pyrenees protects the couch. That's what she does. But
Right.
we
Yeah.
have friends that have a farm that have 3 of them that live with their sheep herd, and I wanted to go out there and see them. And I went out into the field and they all come running over and they
Mhm.
want attention. And the male of the group came over, got his attention, and went right back to
Yep.
like watching the herd. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just they're the sweetest dogs in the world. But you can tell like as soon as they know it's time to kick into gear, like they're on it. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome animals.
Mhm. They are. Yeah, they are.
You might scare the neighbors if something gets in y'all's fence, though.
That's all right. They
She's
hear her
barking
half the time.
24/7.
They hear her half
They're
the time.
so used to her.
hmm
I go outside and I start cussing them out. And the neighbors are like, "It's okay."
They probably think we're crazy. They probably hear us yelling at them inside the house.
He pulls in the driveway and he comes inside. He goes, people can hear you outside.
Let them hear.
Yeah.
Let them hear. Why are they listening?
Yeah.
Better question. Why are you listening?
If they can.
Oh man.
If they can.
So we got bow season coming up here soon.
Yes, we do.
We do.
I'm
Got our
looking forward to that.
licenses this
Did you? Yeah. So yeah, hunting licenses. If you did not get yours yet, they are on sale now for Pennsylvania.
You can
Yes.
apply
Okay.
for your elk points too.
Yeah.
Yep. Apply for elk points. And does are up. This is doe round 1.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got to get my first doe tag.
Yeah, she went on and got hers today.
I texted him this morning. I said, "What are we? 2B, 2C? What are we?" I
You're-
wasn't prepared for questions.
I think you guys are in 2B.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in 2C.
Yeah.
When I went and got my license the day that it was, I don't know, what was it, Tuesday, whenever they went on sale, I had heard by the very next morning 3 counties were sold out of doe tags already.
Well,
that was the 3 that
Those
went
were
out.
the 3 that went
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
But last year was the first year that I remember that Pennsylvania sold out of doe tags.
Pretty much completely,
Yeah,
including 2.
because I used to always wait, and I was like, I can get it whenever. I'd go up to courthouse, grab them. Last year I was like, oh shit, can't get them. They're gone. And I have to get them because, Bella, the 2-pound Chihuahua that lives with us, eats like 2 deer a year by herself. I mean, it's
Yeah.
insane. So I have to get some doe tags. So.
Them dogs love it, man.
She's
Oh,
yoked.
dude, they do.
Oh,
Pure
Jeff,
protein diet.
Oh, yeah. Feed me, father.
It's gonna live forever.
She just might. You never know. She's feisty.
A jacked up chihuahua that shakes all the time.
Yeah.
Buddy, are you good? Fine. Oh, my God.
She sits on your foot. You're mine now.
Yeah. My property. Excuse me while I pee-pee. What? Your dog sounds weird. You can't even invite people over to the house. He's like, just don't look in that room.
All the time, people want to pet her, and we're like, "Don't do
No, you
that."
don't do that.
Mm-mm.
I think she's got like, I don't know, 2 or 3 teeth left.
And they're
She's
all
almost
about
like a
to fall
band
out.
crimper, but yet she will get you.
We had to
It's
pull
insane.
7 out of ours. So whenever he yawns, you just see like front row teeth and then craggly all
Yeah.
throughout the back. You're like, dude, put your mouth down. Stop
Yeah,
that.
stop.
It's weird. You're scaring the people that are around us. He's a cool dog. Stupid. Absolute dumb dog. Would never use him for anything other than maybe finding his own treats that are inside the house. Besides that, he's old and he sleeps, and the old lady wants another one. She's like, we need another one before he goes away. That way he can train him. I'm like, but he's retarded. Like, I'm not having this dog train another dog.
No.
He
I
gets-
tell him all the time, I want another dog. I love bird dogs. I love German short-haired pointers, and I really want one. And he's like, we can't get a fourth dog. I'm like, why not? But he's like, you have to wait for like my two are the older two. He's like, when those two are gone, we'll get another one. I'm like, and then yours will be old, and then we'll have this old decrepit dog and this puppy beating the shit out of her. I'm like, we need them while they're
It'll-
all young together.
It will keep that one semi-young. It'll be fine.
That's right.
We've got to figure out which dog, because she wants something cute and I want something effective. So we've had blue nose, we've had red nose pits, we've had, I mean, pretty much just about any dog that you can think of. We've either had for the farmland or we've had for inside. And I'm not doing another small dog. I would rather have a medium size. And I don't know if we're going to do a Stepford or even a Pitty. Everybody else that we talk to, they're like, well, I don't know if we'd come over if you got a pit bull. And I'm like, oh, God, here we go. I'm raising it. Like,
Yeah.
it will be fine.
Yeah.
They're sweethearts.
Oh, they're the best dogs in the world, man. And they just
Honestly,
get
it's
a
the
bad rap.
Chihuahuas. They're the ones that'll get you.
I told you it's the small ones. It is always the small ones in every form or fashion of animals that will mess you up. The
This-
parents usually just don't care.
It's that video. You ever see that video that's online? It's this guy petting his dog and he's talking to the camera, and it's a little chihuahua, and the thing just
Yes.
goes AWOL in his hand.
Yes. Biting his hand.
And he's just
everything.
talking as it's just destroying
He's
his
like,
hand.
this is the greatest dog in the whole world. It's the sweetest little thing. And it is gnawing at his finger. Like, fingers are popping and stuff like that. No.
and they
dude.
live forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They won't die.
No.
They won't die. And they just get blind in one eye, and it's all grayed
The other
out.
one
and they
you have
get,
to take out
Yeah.
because they
It's mange, and they're like,
glaucoma.
this is Pookie. She's 47. She needs to die. Pookie
I
needs
watched
to go.
a lady scrolling on TikTok today. She was showing her chihuahua that she had. She did this whole video about how this dog wouldn't die, and all these people wanted to see the dog. And she's like, "This is Cece," and she's going through, and she's like, "Yeah, you might see that her nails are curling under, but she requires a blood sacrifice, and like through this whole thing."
And the worst part is you see, like, you'll meet somebody at some point where you just look down and you're like, you gonna let that thing die yet?
Yeah.
And they're pumping it with $4,000 worth of meds
Yeah.
because they can't let it go. And you're like, my grandma did that with a cat. He was 23 years old. His name was Prince Valiant. We called him PV. Hold on.
He put a
His
valiant
cat,
effort.
he had a seat at the table. I remember if I got in trouble, I had to go sit at the kids' table. The cat's sitting in my chair. Doesn't have to leave. And I remember just looking at her like, is that your child? And she's like, he's been here before you. So
Didn't it?
Like,
Wasn't
I
that?
was-
I was
Superior.
put in by the system, my guy. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? I
Yeah.
didn't mean to be here.
That's Bella. Bella's gonna be 27 and
She,
fighting all the grandkids.
she just might.
Mhm.
We just tell them just stay away from
I call her Tokyo Drift because she kind of she walks like sideways.
She definitely has some kind of like neurological issue,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden she does right turns just all the time, but she'll like turn a corner and like literally drifts around the corner instead of like just walking it like a normal dog.
Old Tokyo
It'll be
Drift.
fine.
Gotta love her though. I like the one on TikTok. I think it's Morty. It's a little chihuahua that I see.
what is his dad's? I'm gonna call it his dad. His dad's name. He did a video not 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and I think the dog had the runs, and he was just like walk. I said, dude, if my dog ever, I swear to God, just walking shits in the house, the smell.
Ah,
Nope.
yeah.
Outside the rest of the day.
I don't like it. I don't want to be here.
No.
And we have white carpets. I don't know why she
Oh,
did that.
Oh man.
Yeah, so he'll throw up, and of course he's found his throw up spot on said white carpet, which means that I have to clean said white carpet. Why'd you buy white carpet? That's stupid. It's pretty. It's pretty.
God no.
It's not though.
No.
We
tore
just
all
ripped up
yeah.
all of our
We
carpet.
tore it all up.
We have wood floors. think about this for a minute. Explain women. I know it's off
I'm gonna
topic.
try.
Wood floor, nice wood floor, covered with large square carpets that are white. Why?
Because it's pretty.
I hope both sides of your pillow are hot tonight. That's what I hope. I hope it's just.
I'm not. I mean, we just put in all of our flooring. We don't have any rugs. I've thought about it for like decorating, and then I'm like, I know our one dog, she'll drink a bunch of water and without any warning just be sitting there, make eye contact with you, and just throw up on the floor. And I'm like, she'll do that
Like
on
it's
that
nothing.
carpet.
Us, we
Nobody
make a
just
big
walks
deal
away.
out of it. She just walks around. Keeps going.
She has we're still working on my room that has like we built it into my closet, and a couple weeks ago she walks up to my doorway, is sitting there looking at me as I'm doing my hair, just throws up water and walks away, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
She just thinks it's normal.
Are your dogs okay in the head?
No.
Well, Bella's one of my dogs. So,
Oh.
actually, yeah. So, I mean, I think they are. I mean,
He has two doodles, which doodles are doodles, so
yeah, you saw them
Yeah.
downstairs. They were
Which
there.
one likes me? Which one was all?
that's
That-
Hadley.
that's Hadley.
She's the one that is right in
She's
the
a
head.
sweetheart.
The other one
I like
is
this
not.
one then. Yeah.
Then they have a bunch of chihuahuas. One of them, for no reason at all, hates my guts, and as soon as I walk in the house, just hides behind the furniture.
What did you do to this dog?
I have no idea.
They do
So-
that with a lot of people that come into their house.
Okay, but what did you like?
I mean, I cut their nails from time to time, but she's hated me before
Trauma.
this.
You've hurt this dog somehow,
Somehow.
mentally, emotionally, physically,
in a
some way.
past life.
Yeah. You didn't give them a treat, but you gave everybody else one.
Yeah.
You're gonna
I
find
have-
dog shit on your pillow.
Two of my dogs live with him, and the one acts like she has no idea who
Yeah.
I
So,
am.
so when she lived in South Carolina and had
Okay.
to move to California, she couldn't take the dogs with her.
Okay.
So, us being the good grandparents that we are, we're like, hey, yeah, they can stay with us while you're out there, no problem. Eventually you'll get them back. Well, herein lies the problem. The one now has become my best friend and does not like her anymore.
If he's not around, she's my friend. As soon as he walks in the door, she's like, I don't know who this woman
I understand
is.
it. You took the dog in. She gave up on it.
Mhm.
That's what the dog's thinking.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
good on you. Shame on
I
you.
know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I moved her. I paid for my sister to bring her out to California to live with me, and then decided like 2 weeks later that I was moving back to Pennsylvania instead. And he had gone through this whole thing. I think, I really think she'd just be better staying with us. And I was like, no, I want her to come live with me. And then decided I
I
was
don't think
moving.
she liked California. Emma,
I'm
can you
decided,
blame her?
you know what? I'm moving back to Pennsylvania. I could only have two dogs in my apartment, so she did have to go live back with them, and I just left her there, and she lives a much happier life with
So
me.
now you have a zoo at your house.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
I don't know what you would call.
And
you know,
wait,
having
you
a
have
bunch of
how
little
many
chihuahuas.
dogs now?
We
Three.
have three.
We have 3.
Okay. I'm doing math, and the math ain't mathin'. So you had dogs that no longer live with you, and then you replaced said dogs.
No, so
It's very confusing.
it's
Yeah.
Took me a while too.
Okay.
Even
I
though
just
one
wanna
of
make
them's
sure-
mine.
This is like a bad family tree.
Yes. This is why
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it
This
out.
I had 5,
Okay.
and then when I moved to California, I could only have 2. So one of them she passed away, unfortunately. The other 2 went and lived with them. And then when I moved, I was trying to just kind of smuggle my one back in with me that still accepted me as her mother. I was just going to hide her and just roll the 3 dogs. And then when I was moving back to Pennsylvania, I, again, could only have a 2-dog limit, so I moved them back. So I kept the same, never broke the family up, never gained any. I just kept 2 of them that I knew. My big one, my Pyrenees, is the only one I have to own her. He is afraid of her. She's 80 pounds, and she'll
Big
eat.
dog.
She's
She'll
big.
eat
Yeah.
something if she wants to. And then Cruz, I like hard eyes with me. Like he has to be with his mama. So then I moved back, and then I met him, and he had a dog. So then I moved in with him and brought my 2.
No more dogs.
I want another one though.
I heard you say that earlier. What I'm not sure you hear me say is no more dogs
know.
right now. You need at least 2 of them to pass away, and I don't mean that in a bad way. but they need to just go to heaven. And then you can talk, not buy, talk about another dog.
I'm well, I also grew up with somebody, they have an absurd amount of dogs, so I'm a minimum 2-dog person. So.
I'm hearing what you're saying. Let's talk about therapy real quick.
Okay.
We need to talk to you about therapy if you had an absurd amount of dogs.
You know, I mean, they're all Chihuahuas. I mean, the Doodles, like for the years, I was like, nah, we don't need any big dogs. I always liked the little ones. I thought, you know, they don't take up much space.
They don't.
You know, you put them all in one little basket together. They just kind of hang out. They're cool. It's, you know, no problems. I
They
don't know.
disappear
One of the first
yeah,
in
times
the
that-
couch.
That happens.
Under the couch in the cushion.
One of the first times that he came over to my parents' house, he took a video and sent it to his family.
Oh.
It was my mom walking down the hallway and this parade
trail
of
of
little
dogs
dogs
behind her.
just following.
And you can hear the nails just.
Yep. The tippity taps.
Yeah.
Tippity taps will get you every time.
Yep,
It's
that's all.
so cute. It's great. Not at 3 a.m. It's not. No, it's not.
Oh, no, they start at 3 o'clock, too. They're
Yeah,
like
no.
roosters.
Nope. Don't wake me up.
Speaking of the Chihuahuas, this is going to lead me right into the next question I have
Okay.
because we got way off topic.
Yeah, we went on a
That's all right.
know if you've ever talked to me.
So, where the hell did the name Taco come from?
I'm going to give you the stereotypical answer, and I'll give you the actual answer off air.
Okay.
Okay.
I eat a lot of tacos. Growing up in Tulsa, it's you have an eclectic group of people, and legitimately, I would show up to work every day with about 20 to 30 tacos. The reason being, they're street tacos. They're about yay big,
Oh, those are the best.
right? And it's authentic. It is a true Mexican guy that snuck into the country 30 years ago, and he's been making bomb-ass tacos ever since. And for anybody that's in the Tulsa area, it's 41st and Garnett. You take a left. You keep going. There's a quick trip down by 41st and Memorial, I believe. And there's a little white taco truck. The tires should be cut, just FYI. Here's the thing, his thought process, which was great, was if the tires get cut and it looks dilapidated, nobody's going to tell him to move it, and then he's only open from X amount to X amount, so it works great. But I would show up every day with tacos, and it got to the point where people would ask, customers would ask, hey, you got any tacos left? Yeah. So we'd be sitting there talking over the deal, signing paperwork with taco grease all over our hands. Again, I was 205 and 5'5", so I was eating a lot of tacos. And it just stuck after that. We had a guy come in, and whenever I started TikTok and Musical.ly and IG and all the other stuff, we were coming up with a name because we were like, we are branding, and rebranding is not going to be simple. What do you want to be? And I was like, do you even taco? And that was the very first account. So that one went viral. The next one was Taco Official. Then it was Taco Officially. Then I changed it. I tried to change it to something besides taco. And that just went the wrong way. And then it got to Poppy Tacos. And then it got to Taco Reacts. And then I have my business account. And then Facebook and IG and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's from eating tacos. And then there's a side story behind it that the listeners don't need to know.
It's easy to remember though, because I would come into the archery shop and I'd be like, "Oh, Mom, did you see this video?" And I couldn't remember the exact handle that you had, but I knew it had taco in it. So I was like, if I put taco, I'll be able to find this video.
It's just pop, 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 pop. It will always populate. And I've looked at rebranding since then, and I'm like, I can never get away from this.
No.
I can literally never
No,
get
it
away from this.
works.
Right.
Yeah.
It's to the point now that I have another account that I've taken the name for, and there's 3 other major taco corporations out there who have sent me letters that aren't cease and desist, but they are getting very close because they're like, whenever people do taco, you pop up before us. And I'm like, well, sounds like your marketing people should get fired and you should hire better people. Because I'm doing something right. You guys just suck. And then I get a message after that that's like, well, in the future, you may need to change your name. I've had this longer than you, and I have trademarks. So kiss my ass. It's not happening.
Right.
Just not doing it. And social media is crazy on that.
Well, it's like the Sierra Mist thing.
That girl is, I both hate her and love her. The fact that she didn't budge is great, but she should have taken the money because they just started a whole nother company and didn't
Yeah.
lose anything on it. They lost on the rebranding, which is fine, but they're back and it is what it is. She could have made $15 million. I'll legally change my name for $15 million. I don't care what I'll change it to. Surf Farquad for all I
Yeah,
give a shit.
yeah,
Like,
right.
$15 million that's fine.
Uh-huh.
It is what it
It's a
is.
lot.
Yeah. I'd have
Either
been all
that or
over that.
all she had to do was give up the account. She could have kept the name.
Yeah.
So to give up an account for $15 million, oh dude, dotted line, sign 3 times,
Yep.
take it,
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
give me my check.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's where,
Never see you again.
That's pretty cool.
dude. You don't need to see me again for $15 million. You don't
No.
ever need to see me
Uh-uh.
again.
Hell no.
You know how much archery stuff or hunting gear?
Oh,
You know the lease you could buy, like the property.
the state? No.
There's a talking about TikTok. There's a guy on there that his entire content is finding acreage in every state that's the cheapest amount. Like he's found some in Arkansas that back up to a river and a lake that's $83,000 for 114 acres or whatever it is, and it's all like it's just timber.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's still $83,000. It's a little bit, but not that much.
Mm-hmm.
He's found stuff in Nevada and Montana, everything else. Imagine checkerboarding it out across the U.S.
Oh.
Where do you want to hunt this year?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to do Montana. Great. Just so happens I have 95 acres. Cool. After that, I would love to be able to do Wyoming. Awesome. Got 113 acres down there.
Mhm.
And then you just
And
rent that out.
it's just getting
Yeah.
harder and harder to hunt. Like it's getting more popular to hunt the western states. So somebody like that is set.
Mm-hmm.
It everything that I do is, okay, I just made this amount of money. I'm going to flip it into more money. I'm going to take exactly what I need. I'm going to take my 50% for taxes, put it back. I'm going to take another 20% to live off and play. This extra money that I have, this extra 30%, what can I invest in? Am I investing in myself? Am I investing in another company? It is now to the point where you might as well just buy land. And the crazy
Yeah.
thing is, looking at it now from a hunter's perspective, land that you can lease out is great. That's fine. But then you have to hire people and you have
Right.
to do all this other stuff. I am watching guys buy up land in Miami that are parking lots, and they're only buying, 3 acres of a parking lot right next to the beach, but also right next to an office building. And that's the money that they're spending on it, because the money that they're going to make back,
Oh,
and then when they sell, whenever a corporation comes in and they're like, hey, we're going to knock all this down and build a high rise. Cool. You can't afford me. And then you wait 6 months, let them just keep bringing up the price until you get $25 million.
Yeah.
You spent $600,000. You made $25 million. And these guys are doing it. I mean, my grandfather did it back in
And
the 80s.
I always said if I knew what I know now and could go back in the time, that's all I'd buy is property.
He bought just outside of Vegas, whatever is west of Vegas. There's a small town. He bought checkerboards, literally square, 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 square. And then company comes in and is like, we want to buy this acre and we're going to build something on it. Cool. Here you go. Here's the price. Great. Hey, we found out that you actually own this acre too. And he's like, yep. Here's the price. Then they realized he owned all the other acreages and they could buy one from him. And then the next one he goes, or you could just buy all of them, but you're going to pay me a bigger price because every day price of land goes up. So grandpa would just buy a checkerboard of acres throughout everything. You're taking a
That's smart.
gamble, but at the end of the day, you can always sell it.
right.
You're not going to lose.
Gonna lose. Yeah.
Right.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
And if we did that now,
Ugh.
let me win the lottery. Let me you go. I'm not going to change. I'm just going to be a little bit more loud. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to have all the hunting land.
And all the Upco. You have an Upco per property.
Just a whole fleet of them. I don't know. I would find some business where I could rent them out too. Because there's the thing is, take DoorDash, right? We've talked about it in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
If somebody came in and bought it and they were going to use it for their business and they lived anywhere in the city and they didn't want to drag their car out into everywhere else that somebody could dent, ding, scratch it, or let's say that, God forbid, somebody wrecks into them. You can just leave the car at home. Keep the value, because I hate to tell you, the value of cars is expensive at the dealership.
Yeah.
Not so expensive whenever you go to sell it. You're sitting there
Yeah.
going, what do you mean?
Oh,
What do you
it's
mean
not-
20 grand?
Yeah, it's not an investment.
No. A bike is. That thing,
When
Yeah.
you're talking like big city, there are cities. When I worked for the military, I traveled a lot. I went to Seattle and San Diego and some of these big cities that you're like, how am I ever supposed to find somewhere to park? I remember when I went to Seattle, I found my parking spot for the week and I walked everywhere
Yeah.
because I was like, I'm not moving this rental car because I'm going to lose this spot.
well, and it's an e-bike, so technically you can bring it indoors.
Yeah.
So you bring it in, you put it on the elevator with you, you take it to the room. It is what it is. It's no different than a regular bike like
Yeah.
the rest of these guys do.
Right.
San Francisco is notorious for it. New York's notorious for it. You bring your motorcycles to wherever you are and you will bring them inside. It's not a big
Yeah.
issue. Same thing with this. Might as well. It's a hell of a selling point for me.
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
the
absolutely.
fact that I could take it literally anywhere, load it up into the back of the truck, take it wherever that I want to, leave the truck, go ride. PA has trails, right? And for e-bikes and things, it has to have pedals for it to be a bike trail,
Right.
right? Not a four-wheeler, side-by-side, or any of the other trails. You can go on them with this, which is great. But I go down to North Carolina all the time, and they have Outback ATV Park, Busco Beach. They have all these other things that people are ripping $700 worth of fuel through. I don't have to
Yeah.
do that.
Nope.
And if you look at UBCO's website, you can convert it to solar. So you could take it out and just put it on the back of whatever it is. Let's say you put it on the back of your truck, you bring one solar panel, it just constantly charges the
Yep.
dang thing. It is, it's limitless
is.
possibilities.
Yeah.
Love
It is.
that thing.
It's cool. Yeah, it's definitely cool. Yeah,
Looking into it.
we'll convert you eventually. You just
No, I'm
gotta
getting there.
dig a little deeper in your pockets.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh no, we'll be racing them.
Racing them.
We'll drag race down the street.
Facts.
That'd be you and Adam
Facts.
and Fletcher racing. each other.
ride bikes?
You guys want to go? We could be a little biker gang. This is going to be the greatest thing on the whole planet.
We'll get a rocker vest.
Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I'll do it. I was riding it around with one of the rice patty hats, like the Chinese, because I have one just
Yeah.
randomly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "What am I going to do for content today?" And I looked over and I saw the rice patty hat, and I was like, "Let's just strap that in real quick." It's just me scooting up the street, rice patty hat flowing in the back like a little parachute.
Yeah.
So I was like, "This is." I'm gonna get canceled so quick. Let's just delete that video.
Yeah. Oh my god. that's-
Somebody's gonna get mad.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Man, we've been going here for a while, huh?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
have my
yeah.
phone, so I don't know what time. But yeah,
2:40. 2 hours and 40 minutes.
I thought you said
Oh,
it was
yeah.
I was like, damn.
No, it's not
I thought
2:40.
you said 2:40 a.m.
No, 2 hours and 40
Because I was
minutes.
thinking,
it's okay. It's gonna get me killed. Gonna get me killed. She goes, I know I'm gonna be asleep. Just don't wake me up whenever you come back. And I'm like, I don't know if you know how sleeping works, but our bedroom's right above the garage, so you're
Yeah.
going to wake up.
Yeah.
2:30 in the damn morning.
Oh,
you are
yeah.
out of your mind.
2:40.
Sleeping in the truck tonight.
I will too. I don't care. I've done enough traveling where that back seat of the Ford is fine. You just
Done.
I don't care.
Out. Well, buddy, one of our questions we always ask our guests.
11.
11.
I don't know. Okay, what's the question? What's the question?
What is your dream hunt to go on? What would be your dream hunt to go on?
This is going to be kind of a BS answer, but it's not.
Okay.
One that will be a core memory and alter my idea of hunting for the rest of my life. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a deer. I don't care if it's an elk. I don't care if it's a moose. I don't care if it's a bear. I need it to be with the perfect people. I need it to be with the perfect thought process at camp, something that changes your full mental state towards the thing that you are doing. I want it to be such a core property that it becomes a part of me. That's what I want. That's a perfect hunt.
Great answer.
that's awesome.
really
yeah,
good answer.
it is.
Instead
That's a
of,
great
oh,
answer.
I want a sick deer. I don't care. I want the memory where other people are sitting there and they are happy for what you get.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Right.
don't give a shit what animal it is,
Sitting around a campfire with guys.
dude. That's a whole separate discussion. But yeah, the especially with it being this month. Yeah. The camaraderie and the ability for men to not only be men but to be open.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the dream hunt.
Core
is-
memory hunt.
Yeah. Core
Yeah.
memory hunt.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
get
that's
behind
cool.
that answer 100%.
Absolutely. Me
I
too.
like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, we won't keep you here any longer. We know you've got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to do, and
Yeah.
but before we get out of here, we should, since there's so many fake accounts out there, we need you to kind of filter through and let people know how they can follow you along with what you're doing.
You can follow me. The easiest way for you to do it would be if you have a TikTok account. If you don't, that's cool. We'll get into the next part. Taco Reacts, TacoReacts, Taco Reacts. Inside of that, there is a clickable button called a Beacons link. If you click that, it will take you to every other thing that I own, including my boudoir website, to other social media platforms. And then from there, it's easy to follow it because it's one click away. That's it. Click, follow, click, follow, click, follow. That is the easiest way to do it. If you don't, then you can go to PDB, like Peter David Bravo Studios on IG, or Taco Officially on IG. That is the easiest way to do it. It is TacoFFICIALLY. Taco Officially.
Cool.
Perfect. Easy way to do it.
Yeah, that's what we want everybody to know. So that because I know myself, I went out there and was trying to look through everything. I'm like,
Mhm.
holy shit, this. Okay, I know this isn't him. There's no way.
137 as of our last count of fake. And some of them have more followers than I do on Facebook.
That's
One of them has
crazy.
almost 1 million. They're at 900 something thousand, and my actual account is only at 771.
I
how-
did see that, and that sucks because those people, if you go down into the comments, which I'm sure you have, those people truly think that they're
I
talking
try
to
and get in there and talk to them, and I try and change the profile picture and let people know. They just change it along with me. It's gone to the point that they have pulled down screenshot posts of me wearing something in a video and changed it to the profile picture to make it look more authentic.
I was going to say, I noticed that one, we talked about you just
Mhm.
coming back from a flight, and I noticed that one fake account was using, pictures and, trying to put along the same content that you were, like, they're that involved that they're following the fact
Yep.
that
It's
you
like
were out of
creepy
town.
almost.
Like,
Yeah. Well,
It's
some of
crazy.
these are actual
Stalkish.
companies. They'll have multiple ones. I can name off probably 15 accounts that are near me. So across all platforms, we're just over 7 million. I can name probably 15 other people that are between 1 and 5 million that I would almost bet my bottom dollar is the same person on each one of these accounts.
I believe it.
They just make a new email, new phone number, whatever it is, and then they monetize off of it.
Wow.
that's insane. And that it's a business for them.
Yep. And it's lucrative.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. It
Can-
sucks
Yeah.
that they can get away with that. These, what ticks me off about that is these social platforms again will instantaneously you take a picture of a deer and put it up. They're
Mhm.
taking it down right now. But you reach out to them and say, "Hey, man, this guy's fake, and he's trying to be what I am."
mhm.
They don't care.
Nope. If it's generating revenue for that company, they are not going to care. They are going to look the other way.
That's crazy.
It is what it is. And it sucks.
And it's a love-hate relationship because you need it, but like you said at the beginning, you got people doing shit like that.
It's how to
Yes.
find the thin line.
Yep.
Don't make it a sell and don't make it look like a kill.
Yep.
Make it look like a fun little thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I was out. This happened. Now there's a deer taking a nap.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy how
That's
that
all.
works.
Yeah.
And all you have is just an antler.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, the last one, I have always told people that every time that I take a picture with a deer, I will lay down next to the deer, pull the tongue out, have his head leaning up against mine, and somebody will take the picture from the top. It will look like I am hanging out with a deer just laying around.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it will be. Because if that gets taken down, how? I'll put a vest on him. I don't care. When
Yeah.
you think I don't care.
Yeah.
What are people going to say? I will do a full photo shoot where him and I are in the back of my truck just giggling with beer. I will go above and beyond. But if that's what I have to do for them not to take down my hunt,
Yeah.
Yep.
I get petty
Yeah.
very quickly.
I'm
Very
looking
quickly.
forward.
I would like
the
to see.
Yeah, I want to see some of this.
Oh,
stuff.
dude, I'll do it. I
I'm
just
t-
need to get a deer.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, we can help with that.
Yeah.
Fine. Let's go get a deer.
Let's
Yeah.
do it, man. Let's do it. Well, hey, brother, we really appreciate
Yeah.
you coming
Yeah.
on with us. Seriously, I mean,
Absolutely. I appreciate
the,
you guys
the,
having me.
the
Absolutely.
friendship that we've been able to develop here in such a short period of time
Absolutely.
has
Oh,
been
yeah. It's been-
awesome.
it's been great.
It really has.
Yeah.
We truly, truly appreciate that, and we look forward to spending time with you, hanging out,
Yeah.
and when you have time and we have time that we can get out there. Definitely got to do some hunting. We definitely got to get out there, and we'll talk about the coyote hunting because, like I said, I got the guys that can get us
Okay.
out there that'll gladly do so.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, we'll have some fun, and
Okay.
we got to talk about that tack deal too, because I think that's something we ought to do and just go out and just relax and have fun and
Yeah.
do it. So,
For
I'm
sure.
down.
but yeah, thanks again, man. Appreciate you being on. Everybody out there that's watching or listening, we appreciate you guys because without you, we'd be sitting here just the four of us talking to ourselves, and
Yeah.
not that it's a
Yeah.
bad thing,
Yeah.
but,
No.
but we definitely appreciate you and.
Yeah.
So thank you for following along on all those networks that you follow us on, whatever one it might be, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, the Outdoor Call Radio, it's many more.
Yeah.
So Ken, Megan, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I know it's been a long day at work and then a long night here, but
Hey,
We enjoy
you
it.
too.
we appreciate it.
You too. Same
Paul?
with Paul.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm happy.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I know you're going to be well, actually, you'll be back by then, but I know you got plenty of trips to take and
Yep.
have fun on those. Be safe, and we'll talk soon, man.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
All right.
We'll see you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.